Yeah, I'm pooping.
Hold on. What?
No, I'm
What,
just kidding.
Foos?
Yeah, I'm
What?
just
Wait.
kidding.
Hold on. What?
I'm just kidding.
What did you just say? Are
I
you
said I
trying
gotta
to?
pull up the video.
Are you trying to do a podcast on the shitter? Because we are in the pregame.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
trick. It's
Uh,
a trick.
it's a trick.
He got me. Got him.
Oh shoot. What is going on, everybody in the chat? Just to let you know, K Mega is here, but he went to go fix himself a cocktail. All right, probably like a sea breeze or
Oh, dude, he's making a cougar drink.
a, fu-
He,
a
he's
fuzzy
drinking the
He's making
navel,
a mojito.
a,
cougar juice.
a mojito. Yeah. Oh man, guys, it has been a crazy week with E3 and everything. Yo, have you guys gotten to play any games at all? No, no.
Yeah, just injustice a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, you've been holding down our guild multiverse, man. I went in there,
I'm
dude.
telling you.
Dude, I got that platinum. I got that platinum box for us though.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah.
I was wondering though because I felt a little lonely in there. I was like, oh, is anybody gonna help me out? I'm killing bosses left and right.
uh,
But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. It's a lot of fun, man. And doing the combos and all that.
dude, do you know what I had to do to get
It's awesome.
that platinum mother box, yo?
What did you do?
I had to go up against a fully decked out Green Lantern, level 20, freaking epic pieces, everything like that. And I was only like a level 12 Atrocitus. Yo, he whooped my
Mm,
ass so many times, man.
yeah. And the
The
guild
question
bosses are
is,
harder
did you
than
like
the
it?
regular multiverse. So
What's up, Don?
Question is, did you like it?
I liked it when I won. All right.
Oh, okay.
I am the type. I am so determined, man. It's what got me to beat another game that I actually started streaming today. Ori and the Blind Forest. It's what got me to beat Ori and the Blind Forest. I just get determined, yo. And Ori is not an easy game, man.
No, I need to boot that thing up one of these days.
Oh, yo, shout out to Chris Hughes. He says we need. Yo, Don, you're gonna like this. We need next podcast to be 60 frames per second, 4K HDR.
All the numbers?
All the numbers.
Ambient occlusion, subsurface scattering,
Ooh.
normal mapping. We need that too.
Yo, it's funny. Every time I hear thermal mapping, I think of the thermal scorpion skin on Mortal Kombat. That is so bad, huh? Makes me sound like a noob.
Well, it makes it sound like something, that's for sure.
Dude, what is K Mega? What kind of concoction is K Mega making, man?
I don't know.
yeah.
All
Don't worry
I know is
about
you
what
put
I think
some
I hear
comic
it mixing.
cleanser and some cougar juice. That's all.
juice.
Cougar juice.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I
having a
like
Kahlua
those.
with some moose milk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember Don was supposed I'm still waiting on Don's Cambodian yak milk. I'm waiting for that. So I don't know
No,
what's
I'm making it into cheese for you.
Oh shit. Nice.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness. Yo,
I said last night on GRG, I said and Don, he was at E3 and he was not only showing off his new game that he was that he made.
Oh,
he was
don't
also-
start those rumors.
well, but he was also giving everybody a sample of buffalo titty milk. So I said with every person that he was talking to. So I don't know how that went. So how did everything go, Don? I mean,
Yeah, I need to know, is buffalo titty milk spicy?
wow.
If you had cinnamon, yeah.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that's inquiring minds want to know about buffalo titty milk, man. I got to know.
Yo,
Hey, you know what? There are some people that believe chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
wow.
Yes.
Yo, me and O Snaps were actually talking about that today.
I saw Snaps tweeted. That's where I saw it.
I heard the most disturbing thing about chocolate milk, but I love chocolate milk so much, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of chocolate milk lovers out there. I'm just going to keep it to myself, but it was pretty fucking sad. It made me
They
upset.
kill baby seals.
Those are the,
No,
those are the same
it's-
people that also believe 60 frames per second makes every game better.
Every game.
Oh,
That's how how's it
Damn.
going?
shots fired.
Remember, Don, there's a time and a place, man. We got to talk about E3 before we get into that.
What are you talking
craziness, man.
about? I didn't say anything.
Dude, it's funny, yo, Mega, when you were talking about Don at E3, like showing his game off and everything, I pictured him with like a a tablet belt buckle, going in with a trench coat, and just walking up to random people. Want to see my game? Look like a flasher. Like open this shit up real quick.
Open his shit up and have all of his gameplay on each pocket. Yeah, he was damn.
Oh my goodness.
And you know what? And you would think that it's in the summer, and you would think that he would be sweating like a motherfucker. But Don is so cool that he went dripping a sweat. He had all that. He had the chinchilla and the motherfucking tablets in his chest. Man, that dude, boy, he's a beast. And a buffalo. Damn.
Oh man.
Dude, people are. When I do go to E3, everybody in the community is going to look for some dude like in chaps and in a trench coat.
Chaps in a trench coat. There.
Well, I'm going to E3 next year. That's no doubt. And I showed a picture about how I was going to look when I went there, and I was like, it was this picture of Rick Ross with nothing but a fur coat on with no shirt, and that's how I plan on going to E3.
No shirt, no shoes, no service, man.
No. I'm wearing shoes. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but yeah, I'm coming with the fur.
Them slick penny loafers, man.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm coming in clean, but I'm just gonna have fur, no shirt. You know what I'm saying? With a link, and I'm ready to go. And the first person I'm going after is somebody from Xbox to get an interview. So we're gonna just do this, man.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go in. Like I see all that, man, but you gotta bring it back to like Flavor Flav status, and you gotta Xbox One X like gold plated as a chain.
See, here's the thing.
With a fidget spinner on it.
K-Mag is going to have one of those little mics that you normally clip on a shirt, but he's going to clip it on the end of a Kinect and just hold that thing as a mic to everybody and interview them that way.
Nice.
That's sick.
Nice.
That's sick. I like that, yo.
Oh, come on now. That what am I, the new hip hop gamer? Get the hell out of here.
Oh goodness.
No, that's
dude's
right.
a world champion.
I should have known better.
That dude's a world champion of something. I just don't know what it is right now.
Yeah. Hold the belt. Hold the mic. No, I'm not doing no shit like that. Come on now.
Well, Mega, we were just talking because like it's been a crazy week with like E3 and everything.
Indeed, it has.
Have you gotten into play any games, man? Any games like throughout the week, or is it all work, man?
I haven't played that much. I played a little bit of Tekken, and then I played a game last night. What was called? It was called Last Night, something like that. It's this little interactive game. It's really cool. It's called Late Shift. It's really cool. I said I was going to stream it last night, and then I played it, and then my old lady wanted me to lay down with her and stuff. You know, she's still nervous about being in a new crib and shit. So I was like, all right, honey, let's go lay down. And I said, I'm going to get back up, and then I'm going to stream the game. And I didn't wake up until like 7:30 this morning. So, so I'm gonna play it again because I went through it and I beat it. It was really fun. But that's it. Everything else has been watching footage of E3.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Yo, well, how is the whole new digs coming, man? Like everything cool?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it's great. You know what I'm saying? How it's had a squirrel problem, but that shit was wild, man. I ain't never seen so many squirrels at one time and just running around playing and.
I'm gonna cook you.
If they got,
hell yeah, I'll put some squirrel on the motherfucking grill. Hell yeah, squirrel good eating.
Dude, if they got into the house, all you had to do was call the Don. The Don would have injured him, plus nursed him back to health. But
exactly.
They would have followed him.
Then I would have
got to freeze him.
Yeah. We had 3 trees in the backyard. 2 of them we had to cut down, and then the last one we just trimmed, and then that kind of solved the problem because, in this neighborhood, there's a lot of neighbors that has big trees in their backyards, and so the trees that was in my backyard were like connected to those people's trees. Like it was fucking crazy. So, so that was just extra money that I didn't want to spend. So I was like, come on now, but it was all good.
Dude, not for anything, man. You definitely gotta watch your money because after E3, we saw all these games that are coming out. And
I'm broke. Man. I'm broke already.
Holy shit!
It's too many goddamn games,
dude. Some surprises. There was some games. Man, like, dude, I really want to get into this conversation. So I don't know. You guys ready to check out the intro, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it. Nah, don't even play. Let's do it.
Damn, let's go.
There you go, fool.
Oh, hold on. And shout out to Newark that's out there that's getting his jury curl done. He's taking his braids down and he's getting the jury curl. He's happy now because about that $4.99. Let's go.
I got you, man.
Shout out to that guy.
Oh man, I love this podcast panel. Let's go, guys. on, people, and welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast. Guys, this is our E3 wrap-up. It has been a crazy week. All your favorite YouTubers coming out with nothing but content, hitting you with live reactions, thoughts, opinions. And guys, it is time to wrap it up and look towards the future. I am really, really excited for this episode. I've been wanting to talk to everybody on the panel, about the games and stuff we saw at E3. So, guys, everybody who's checking us out live, first and foremost, thank you guys for all the support for the channel, for the podcast. The community is absolutely outstanding, but we need to get into this, and I need to get into these intros. So, first off, coming live from the 405, a self-proclaimed pro bartender, K Mega.
Oh yeah, I got this shit in my cup, about to get lit. What's up, everybody, man? Xbot, great minds think alike, and I think you sabotaged my OBS last night because we had the same goddamn idea, and you know what I'm saying, and the sound wouldn't work, so I had to go old school and do it that way. But man, yeah, I'm happy to be here, and yeah, that's crazy. We got the same fucking idea and even talk about it. That's dope. So. Man, I'm just ready to go, man. I'm excited about E3. I'm excited about these topics that we're going to talk about, man. And yeah, let's go.
No doubt, man. For people who don't know, like from when we started the podcast, man, we've always run into like ideas that have been similar. It's like we're brothers and we don't even know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my dad or my mom, I don't know, man, but there's got to be some relation somewhere, dude.
Somewhere down the line, somebody's cousin.
You are Indian too, so
I am part Indian, so yes, that somebody's auntie's cousin fucked around with an Italian or some shit and just messed up the whole fucking family. But here we go.
Molto bene. Yeah. All right, next on the list, man. That chinchilla wearing fool, guys. You know what time it is. Stand up, kiss that ring. Show some respect. The Don.
It gets better every time, guys. Hey, another week, another Next Podcast. And as Fusi would say, let's do this.
No doubt. Hey, Don, how many frames per second do you think this podcast is running right
now? Look, being messy already. Being messy already.
Let me count them. One, two, three. No, sorry.
Don't you dare mess with my art, sir.
I have to get my equipment out, and then we'll figure out the pixels and the frames per second, and what type of upscaling it is. No, it's going to be a lit podcast, guys. We're going to talk about things. Next is always about to have a better understanding about things, and when you get into 60 frames per second, we're going to have what they call an adult conversation.
Oh,
so
are you kicking me off the podcast then? Is that what's going on?
What's going on here, brother?
We'll go and give it a shot. So, anyways, we'll go from there. But it's E3. It's time to be excited about stuff. We were showing a whole bunch of new games, so let's do it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And introducing the golden voice of the Next Podcast, that smooth talker, Fuskis.
Yo, what's good? It's good to be back. Had to take care of some business and, work on my golden voice and buy some more bananas. But, when I like to go to Puerto Rico and pick up on bananas because those are the best ones. You can get the platanos and all that. So.
Yo, we actually have a dish of those sitting in the kitchen right now. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Snaps know what's up.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we actually had Spanish food for dinner, and dude, I got done with one plate. I'm talking like rice and beans. I'm talking the cooked pork. It was just absolutely amazing, right? And I went to go for the second plate, and I was like, man, I can't do that to our followers, man. I can't get like that kind of like sleepy,
get the itis.
That sleepy fullness, and be like, yo, what's going on, people? I'm full. No, I couldn't do that, man. So I'm saving up for a plate for after the show, though. And I do want to say, for people who know, we have more people on the panel. So huge shout out for O Snaps, who is out there in the chat. I see her over there. And our boy Newark, as K Mega said, I don't know. I think he's out there taking over Facebook. I think he's taking Zuckerberg and he's thrown him out, off the throne. It's going to take him a couple days to kind of get everything established. But I believe Newark NJ is now the official face of Facebook. So shout out to him, man.
With the
Guys,
Jerry curl. Don't forget about that Jerry curl.
he's the official Jerry curl of Facebook. Yeah,
and he got carved into, he got cut into the back of his head. 499. That boy, he's lit right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, how crazy is it that he
Yeah,
called
no,
it?
he can celebrate
He
it.
called that shit.
Dude,
He had his
Him
doubts.
and next
then
gen
called it.
At the end, though.
called
He was like, I hope it's this, but I swear it's going to be this, and but he got it.
He stuck to it.
Yeah.
That's what it is about Newark. That's what I respect about him. He came and he
real
said what
funny?
he wanted.
It's not really that crazy if you think about it. A lot of his predictions came true. Came true, man. Like, yo, the dude does his homework. Yo, he's got Kelvin in his back pocket as well. So I think him and Kelvin Brandon, like they do like these brainstorming sessions, man. You know, it's a dark room, just one table. You got the light straight over the table, and they're just going back and forth with stuff. And yo, the dude has been right on a lot of stuff. Like I said, huge shout out to Newark. But guys, we got to get into E3, man, and we're gonna break it down, conference by conference. You know, I know Xbox started it off, but I kind of feel like we should go reverse on this. So I think we should start with Nintendo. And with Nintendo, they didn't have a live conference. They had Treehouse stream or whatever whatever you want to call it. But I gotta say, man, in my opinion, Nintendo really came out swinging the only way Nintendo knows how, and that is with their exclusives. I mean, they came out with Kirby, they came out with Yoshi. Finally, Mega, you got to be with me on this. Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that was great. 2 Metroid Primes, one that's going to be on the Switch, and the other one that's going to be on the 3DS. So that, so that, what is it, 3DS, 3DO, whatever that thing? Not 3DO, 3DS.
3DO.
The little handheld. I don't even forget what
The granddaddy handheld.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, let's start with you, Mega. Like when it came to the Nintendo stream or whatever, did you see what they had to offer, man?
Yeah, I watched every conference, every last one of them. I watched the PC, Ubisoft. I watched them all, and Nintendo's was kooky and weird. Looking at the American, what is that dude's name? Reggie.
Yeah.
Reggie walking around in creepy settings, like on that beach. That shit was weird. But you know what? They delivered on what people have been asking for from Nintendo. They had Yoshi, they had Kirby, plus they showed Mario. Mario looked absolutely dope, and plus they showed the Xenosaga. They showed a different type of Monster Hunter. It was amazing show for Nintendo fans. Man, they should rejoice because the one thing that you did not see when they had the Wii U was an abundance of games, and they showed an abundance of games through that little show. So yeah, kudos to them.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, they gave me there was one game I was looking for. We didn't get any gameplay from it, man. They just said that it's in production.
It's in development. Yeah.
But dude, did that Mario surprise you? Because like at first, when they first showed it, it was about like throwing the hat, and everybody's like, "Oh wow, you get to throw your hat." But to be able like to take over those characters, man, what did you think about that, dude?
No, the Mario is dope, man. That's why I have to have a Switch by the end of the year so I can go ahead and get to play Mario. I mean, I know Z is somewhere over here stabbing himself, but look, man, I mean, that's what Nintendo is good for. People love Nintendo for their IP, for this exclusive IPs, and that was really cool. Like, when I seen what was that Xenosaga. That was really dope for me because I'm into Japanese RPGs, or just RPGs in general. And then when I seen, this is gonna sound corny, but man, when I seen Kirby, I kind of got a little.
Kirby was sick.
Kirby looked dope, man. I was like, sick. I like God dang. And then the Yoshi was cute, but Kirby was lit to me. So I was like, you know what, I gotta have it. And even though I know that Kirby probably won't come out until next year sometime, but still. To play Splatoon, see that, and then they showed just other games. Man, I was really pleased with the show.
No doubt. Now you were talking about first party, and that's what Nintendo is known for. I do have to ask you, What do you think about the Skyrim for the Switch and how you're using the Joy-Con controllers and everything like that? Is that something you're interested in as well?
Not necessarily. No. It's cool that Skyrim is on there and that you can take it on the go,
Hmm.
but it's just I'd rather just play Skyrim at home because that game is just too big. And if it would be time consuming for you to, like, if you're on a flight or something like that. But to do all that with the Joy Cons, you're on a flight, you're on a bus, wherever the hell you are traveling, it's just a little bit much. So it's cool for the fans who never played Skyrim, but I'll pass on that.
I got you, man. And like that seemed to be the only kind of real highlight when it came to third party or
Mhm.
whatnot. Do you see this trend kind of continuing with Switch? I know we've talked about this a bunch, and I think one of the biggest concerns with Nintendo, I know they do their first party, and their first party not only does it sell hardware, the software sells like crazy, but they promise third party. Do you see this being that one big title, and then it kind of like drifting away from there?
No, they have FIFA coming. They have
But we already knew about FIFA.
yeah, they showed FIFA. They showed I think there's a Call of Duty coming to the Switch as well.
Really?
So, yeah, yeah. I was, like I said, I was absorbed. I didn't do too much gaming, but I was absorbed in just watching everything E3
Mm.
all week long. And they have another game that was that kind of threw me off. Like, oh, really? They get that? But I can't remember that. It wasn't that interesting to me, but it wasn't something that I would think that Nintendo would have. So they are getting third party, but they're just going to get the lesser versions of them,
Yeah,
and
well, Skyrim. I mean,
that's
let's
yeah,
face it. Skyrim's
that's
a
impressive.
360. It's a
Yeah,
360 title. So
yeah, and also Minecraft. You got to think about Minecraft. That
yep.
that to me was really huge for them to, uh, you know, have Minecraft and then do crossplay with Microsoft. That's pretty damn epic.
Yeah, that touches on another topic that we
Exactly.
might we might
Yeah.
Oh boy.
go on down the line about, man, because Sony wants to protect the kids. Um, uh, yo,
Sony love the kids.
yo, Foos, I gotta know. You said you didn't check out the Nintendo conference, but did you see any of like the game trailers for like the Mario or the Metroids or anything like that, man?
I didn't watch anything on Nintendo. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I don't have time for Nintendo right now, and it ain't a hate on Nintendo. I played Nintendo since way back. So I got too much to do right now, and Nintendo's not on that,
I got
agenda.
you. Well, just from hearing like me and K Mega, like the new Mario, and with throwing your hat, it's not just hitting the enemies. Like you can actually take them over. I'm talking like
Hmm.
the was it bullet bills? The little fish. Like you could take over the animals and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and you can control them yourself. Not only that, they announced Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch,
Hmm.
the Return of Samus for the 3DS or 2DS or just
Mhm.
DS, whatever the hell you want to call it, like Mega said. A new Kirby, a new Yoshi. Does this sound like Nintendo's really going in on the Switch and they're doing what they need to make it successful?
Oh, of course. I mean, Nintendo's doing what Nintendo does. They have so many freaking IPs that they can sustain themselves. It does suck if the third party support doesn't come, but I mean they really can sustain that system on their exclusives. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Mario is always awesome. That every game they put out's fun. So I will enjoy a Switch whenever I have the time for it.
Nice, but that's gonna be down the line. I'm pretty sure there's
Oh
a
yeah,
there's a $500 piece of hardware that is probably might be on the top of your list, man.
it's it's at zero actually, the one right before one. So that's even better, right?
Yeah, it's hovering over the list, like.
It's the title. I mean, shit. Does it even need to say anticipated items?
I
Xbox One X. That's all it needs to say.
I got you, man. I have a feeling you're gonna have a lot to say when we get to a certain X conference, but I'm gonna move on for now. Yo, Don, I'm not sure when it comes to Nintendo how you really feel. I know we've talked about Nintendo a lot, but did you see the what they had to offer for E3 in terms of their treehouse?
Yeah, yeah, I
What?
did. I did like watch it here and there and stuff like that, and I thought there were some interesting things that they announced Metroid but didn't show anything.
Yeah,
Um,
I was upset about that, but at least it's
yeah,
coming,
but
man.
but and I have a hard time getting excited about that because it's done by an unknown developer working on it for as a Metroid title. Are they
Mhm.
going to stick true to more to the Metroid Prime formula? I don't know what to get excited about or not, right? And
Could be a
then
side scroller.
yeah, it could be. No, but it could be.
No, no,
You're right.
I
Right.
don't think so. I don't think so. I have a feeling the prime tag is in the title, and I have a feeling like they're at least gonna try. I don't know if they'll be able to capture the heart of Metroid Prime, but I think they're gonna try. So I don't think you're gonna see a side scroller, man.
Regardless, I mean, it's hard to get excited about a title. To be honest with you, when you played a lot of them, I get excited when I see gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing for me. So it's hard to get excited about that. And then the one am interested, which is Metroid. Well, it's behind this paywall, which is a console that I really don't want to play.
Huh.
At the end of the day, so that's the thing that kind of sucks. Like I like their IP, I like Mario, I like all these things, but the interface with their hardware, it's really been lackluster,
Hmm.
and that's kind of the problem. Like that game would play just as good on really any hardware, to be honest with you,
Okay.
and it doesn't really have to be on a Switch. I mean, there are exceptions, like if you're into ARMS or something like that, that's that uses some of the innovations of that particular console,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it. And it's a lot of just Skyrim. Already played it, wasn't my cup of tea. Right, good
Oh,
for
thank
those.
you, man. I thought I was the only one that wasn't like a Skyrim fanatic, man.
But it's good for those who like it and want to play it on the go, and good for that's good for those people and good for that platform and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They did their little bit of quirky thing, but it's not bad when you expect it going into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yo, Don,
And
I just interrupt you just real quick. It's kind of weird to talk about Nintendo while watching Anthem, like the
yeah,
gameplay for Anthem, man.
it is. It's like going back in the past, right? A little bit when you're working with Nintendo, but you know, all in all, though, I think they had the second best showing out of all the platform holders. And so I mean that counts for something, right? Even if they're not my cup of tea or they're not overly exciting me, I can give them credit where credit's due.
Mm-hmm.
They showed what their audience loves, what their core audience loves. They showed a little bit more support. And, they're chipping away at that sort of stuff. So, you know, part of me, even though I'm not excited about the platform, part of me still roots for them, and hopes they do well. So,
Nice, nice. I do have to say when it comes to Nintendo, even though it wasn't a live conference, I'm kind of getting used to them not doing it and doing this whole stream thing. But dude, there's certain things I'm excited for. I mean, they're bringing me a Metroid. Even like the what people would call quote unquote kiddie games. If you follow my channel, you know I'm not about every game needs a gun or every game needs violence or every game needs adult themes, and I'm actually excited for a lot of the titles. You know, the Yoshi, Kirby, Mega. I am so happy you are hyped for that because I saw that I was like, damn, I gotta play that game, yo. But
there's no shame in that.
yo,
There's no shame in liking Kirby just because
it,
he's pink.
and one
Well,
of the biggest. Go ahead, Mega. Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say he's dope. I'm just Kirby is just one of
Kirby's
those
the
little
man, yo.
characters that I mean,
Coming in with his little Link hat with his sword, just charging through like.
I like Kirby better than I like what that little dinosaur. So I mean, so Yoshi, I like Kirby better than I like Yoshi. So but I like Donkey Kong better than all of them. I like Donkey Kong better than I like Mario.
Do you
So
think Kirby tastes like chewing gum?
Dude, I
he
actually
looks
thought
like
about that.
yeah, he looks like
Am I the only one that thinks that? Like,
he looks like he could be like a sweet bubblegum flavored annihilator. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's a distant cousin of
Wait, there's
what was
bubblegum
that?
flavored now
how
later.
come I think of him as Fat
Ooh.
Albert in candy form? Is that wrong?
Oh my God! See,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
just
Well,
saying, man.
I'm wondering if Reggie's hosting the show now. What's going on?
Nah. But the one thing I did want to say was about the Mario thing. Like,
Yeah.
when I first saw Mario, I wasn't really into it. They just showed me like the New York City, but when I saw how many different lands it spanned across and exactly what you were doing with the hat, I have never had such a 180 with a Mario title. Like I'm actually as excited for this Mario as I was excited for Mario 64. It feels like this should be the sequel to
Look,
Mario 64. Yo.
let me ask you something on Mario, right? So you know how they always go to that New York, like whatever level or whatever hub or whatever it is,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Doesn't that kind of break it? Like it doesn't look, it feels out of place, right? Everything else they show, it's Mario.
I
It
don't know.
matches up
See,
perfectly. But when they show that New York portion, for me, it's like, oh, okay, you lost me.
See,
Y-
when with the New York stuff, I see what you're saying, but with kind of like the upgrade in textures and like the rainforest and the other areas, the only thing that kind of throws me off about New York are the humans.
Yeah,
The humans feel to me like when they tried to do it with Sonic.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna say that same thing. Yeah.
it feels out of place, right?
Mega, like you said,
It,
great minds, man.
no, I felt the same way about the Sonic thing too. It just feels like it's mixed matched into a
Doesn't
world where it
belong.
doesn't fit. Yeah, like, and I'm not trying to criticize Mario because like Mario looks decent for if you want to play a Mario 64 like game but evolved, great. But like that one thing, like I wish they would just leave that one part out, like, and I think it would be better. But maybe that's just me.
No, I got you, man, and at least have the humans kind of look like Mario. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I'm
like
saying?
in the same character design,
Yeah,
like like Princess Peach or Mario or whatever
yeah.
it may be. So yeah, I get it.
I don't know, but other than that, like I said, I'm actually like hyped for it, man. And the Switch will not just be getting use from snaps. I hope I can kind of wrestle it away from her every once in a while.
So you
And
tracked down one.
what happened?
So you finally tracked down one.
Oh yeah, no, she's had one. She's had one for a while. We've played.
Okay.
We have Mario Kart. We have Snipper Clips. That's pretty much it for now. We're waiting for like Splatoon to come out because we tried the test fire for that, and that game was that game was so much fun, yeah. But there are titles coming. It didn't release with a lot. It was known as the Zelda machine, when it first came out. But at least they're showing the Metroids, the Yoshis, the Kirby's, the Mario's, all the games that people buy Nintendo for now. All right.
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, let's go into the shortest conference of E3. And that would be the Sony conference. Yo, Mega, I got to say, it was an absolute blast doing the Yo,
That
doing.
still works.
Well, we were doing the BGST live reaction. And, dude, shout out to our BGST brothers because, man, that live reaction was fire. It was lit. It was live, man. Um, I don't know, man. Like that, I couldn't believe it ended, and it was funny because Crap was like, it's ending, it's ending already, and stuff like that. I know I said K Mega first, but let's switch it up a little bit, and let's go to the Don. Yo, Don. What did you think about Sony's E3 conference, man?
Man, you know what? I was wrong about the price about the X, but I can tell you right now, what I was more wrong than even that was I thought Sony was going to bring it with not only their exclusives but a couple extra ones and third party, and they didn't do any of that. We just got a little longer look at stuff we've already seen,
Mm.
and I always judge these sort of conferences based on surprises, something new, something fresh, right? That goes with Nintendo, that goes with Microsoft and all that sort of stuff. Even if I don't like it, I want the surprise, I want the excitement of something I haven't seen before,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't do it. They kind of undersold me. Like I was a big defender of God of War. Every time like King of Maya would go on a rant, I'd be like, "No, just give it a chance, give it a chance, give it a chance," like sort of thing. And now that I've seen more, I'm kind of more in that camp where I'm like, "Yeah, if I pick up a PlayStation, I'll try it," but it's not the driving force for me to buy their hardware. Spider-Man, I was more sold on Spider-Man after that, so I mean
Ooh.
that was very successful for me. But the problem is I find myself in the same place where I was prior to E3, which as a gamer, right, where I need three pieces of exclusive software that makes me want to buy that hardware. And right now, that is Horizon Zero Dawn, which I played and I love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Looks like Spider-Man's gonna be that next game, and I'm not a big Spider-Man fan.
I was
Just
gonna ask that, man, because I
so,
know.
so so I don't have that definitive love that you have for the character,
Thank
right?
you, thank you.
As far as that goes, but they sold me on the gameplay, sold me what they did on it, but I still find myself in this problem. Where's that third title to drive me? And the problem, also the other problem, is the Spider-Man game that would sell me on the hardware. I don't know when that's coming out. I know it's maybe sometime next year if it doesn't get delayed. And then the question is, they didn't really tell us a time frame because most likely it will get delayed, and which is a smart move on their part. But it's hard to get
Well, they
excited
said
for something.
2018 for Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's a last time I checked, that's 360 days, right?
Yeah.
So
If I would guess, I would say holiday.
yeah, so I mean, you know, I don't know what's going to happen with that title. At the end of the day, and if it gets postponed, it's like not bad on them or anything like that. It just I have to wait a little bit longer to justify buying. So, the PlayStation, nothing against the console or anything like that. You know, I would develop on that just as much as I would develop on any other major piece of hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and have no reservations for that. But personally, for as a consumer in using it, they haven't sold me on it yet. And I just need those three exclusives, and they haven't got it yet. But
So
good
hold
job. They
on,
sold me on
God
Spider-Man.
of War, Uncharted, nothing.
I've never liked the Uncharted's. To each his own
Resogun.
on that. Well, that's not a system seller, right?
4K,
Yeah,
60 frames per second.
that's not a system seller though. That's the problem. But yeah, God of War unsold me on it, on the title. I'll pick it up in passing because I like past God of Wars, but I don't like the direction they're going with it.
Really, I see. I don't know if it's just because I'm new to God of War. I only played kind of like a little bit of God of War 3 remastered or whatnot. I didn't play the first two or anything like
It's
that. So
it's not the camera angle people bitch about. It's the tag along character. Um, it's
I saw him using a
uh,
bow and arrow, like
it,
acting beast. I saw him
it's
acting beast in the
it's
gameplay, man.
it's out of place, and it just doesn't fit. Like it doesn't, it ruins it for me. It breaks like what that character is. And then here's the other thing is, a little lesson about Dawn, right?
Oh,
My heritage is, a lot of Norse mythology, like, Norse, like Vikings and stuff like that. That's like actually family history and all that sort of stuff. So those
Don
sort
the
of stories,
Viking.
those stories, like, or anything along that, like that atmosphere or that setting excites me, and they unsold me on it. So like they even have that working for me for in God of War, and they unsold me on. And when I obviously view my opinions on a game, don't let that keep you from wanting to buy or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just one opinion of many, and you need to you need to align yourself with somebody that's in the same mindset as you, and if you like it, definitely enjoy the game or anything like that. But it's not a driving force for me to buy the hardware anymore, after that conference.
I
I
got
thought
you.
I thought the kid was gonna die, and that's how. No, but I thought that's how Kratos was basically gonna lose his shit and become, the angry man that he is, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why I kept telling K Mega, give it a shot, give it a shot, give it a shot. It just, it, yeah, I can tell he's throughout the whole entire game,
Dude,
and I'm like, and I don't want him around. Like I want to play an adult game. I don't want to play a game with a kid. I don't
wow.
want it.
All right. Well,
I
I want to ask you what did you think about like the hour long conference, man? What does that say to you? I
7 minutes.
how much?
47 minutes.
47?
Whoa.
47 minutes.
Oh man, I thought it was
The hour,
little over 60.
the other like 30 minutes was like IGN and others was trying to give it, was trying to make it go longer than an hour because they were trying to have shit to explain.
yeah, it was kind of like the pre-show stuff, like we
Yeah.
do before we start the podcast, right? So, you know, the length doesn't bother me if you show me stuff. In regards to that, the other thing I didn't like about the Sony conference, and I can say the same thing about the other two as well. Little bit less on the Xbox side, but they still are guilty of it. Is, and I know it's from a pacing standpoint, but if they can somehow work the pacing of what they're going to show you, and even if it's someone just on a stage holding a controller, not really playing the game, but like bring that element. This is a game. This is not a movie we're watching. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I feel like that element of the whole entire all the showings was missing, and that's huge. And I think that bodes confidence when you have a live demo and someone plays it. You know what I mean? Here and there, everything we saw was kind of pre-done gameplay, except for like what Microsoft did with Forza. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so
Yep.
that kind of bugs me, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I got you, man. Let's move on down the list, man. I'm gonna say Fuski for last because he said he didn't really watch. He went in on
Oh,
the
you can hit
Microsoft.
me up though. I mean, it's all good. I,
You watched
I I
last
did I did watch all the videos of everything they showed, and I mean, I noticed it was mainly just stuff we already knew about. So I kind of figured it wasn't a good conference.
So all right. Well, guess what? We'll go Foos next then. Yo, Foos, what did you think, man? Were there any highlights to the conference in your opinion, man?
Uh, you're not gonna believe it, but I'm gonna get a PS4. Not
What?
not this year, but
He waited.
I got to get that
You
X.
guys
But
heard the delay? It's like not this year.
Mhm.
but
Um.
yeah, I know now I'm about to get an Xbox or a PlayStation 4 Pro probably
what sold you?
because Spider-Man and God of War. I've been wanting God of War, and I think it looks dope. To me, it looks really good, and I'm excited to play it. I played the older ones, and they were fun too, and I didn't really get too much into them because I wasn't into the PlayStation 3 much. So, yeah, this one looks dope though. It reminds me so much of honestly Rise, and I love that game. I like the quick time events. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay. What did you think about the kind of like it's another remake, but they went in with Shadow of Colossus and they kind of they upgraded basically the assets to the game. It's not just a HD
hmm
remake. They went in and they redid the
Oh, they
textures and all that good stuff.
okay.
Uh,
I didn't know that, but
Yeah, it's kind of like a
yeah,
Halo anniversary
that
type
game's a
of thing.
good game, dude. I don't know if everybody's played it on this panel, but Shadow of the
Yeah, I
Colossus
have.
is a dope game. Um, but I think it's pretty shitty that they won't put it on backwards compatibility. The whole stance that they're doing because a lot of people own that game several times, so it's kind of a shitty move to say they don't want that people don't want to play these older games and then give you a remake of an older game. It doesn't make sense. But other than that, yeah, Spider-Man and God of War kind of sold me. Detroit looked interesting. I never played Heavy Rain, but I know that it got a lot of awards and things like that, and a lot of people praise it. So I'm even kind of interested into that.
all right. Yeah, you like the Telltale series of games, right?
Yes, I
Foos.
do.
All right, so yeah, the Heavy Rains, the Detroit and everything might be kind of up your alley because it's basically that type of game. It just doesn't have that kind of like cartoony look to it and stuff like that. So
hmm
yeah, that would
But yeah, I think what was good about Sony is, they don't care so much about if people want to play online with their games. They tell some pretty awesome stories with their games, and with what they showed, like with Spider-Man that we're watching right here, the way they put things together, it's really interesting to play games like that, and I can't wait to play these.
yeah, I gotta agree with you
So,
on that, man. Yo, let's hit up my brother K Mega, man. Do you have anything to say about the Sony conference?
Send that shit to Hades. Listen here. Listen here. Like, you know what? I like what Fusk was saying. That's a gamer. That's a true gamer. You enjoy what you enjoy. And
Mhm.
I have no problem with that. But
But
here we go.
Sony needs a motherfucking lesson of humility. They need to be criticized. This show was absolute arrogance. They walked in here, said, "I'll piss on your lawn, and I dare you to do something about it." This what this conference was. They showed nothing. They gave us well, I can't say they should show us nothing. They showed three heavy hitters. The rest was games nobody really wasn't too much interested in, if unless you are a fan of Shadow of the Colossus. But for the $60 price tag, they're going to put themselves right back in that position. just like the Last Guardian. Nobody's going to buy that shit until they drop the price.
Oh, it's confirmed to be $60 title.
Yes, confirmed to be $60. It was already been asked, already seen. It's going to be $60. And look, and it looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. But again, $60 for a title that majority of the people are not going to be totally interested to play that like right off the bat. Like you don't hear anybody coming home from work saying, "Man, I got to put that Shadow of Colossus in, bro. I got to play that shit, dog." So that right there is a fail. That's arrogance. No show of Gran Turismo. Let me remind everybody this. Gran Turismo is PlayStation's #1 selling franchise, and they don't show no love to that game. They show it in the pre-game because that game looks so horrible. 140 plus cars. What was it? 17 tracks, and graphics look like that. Plus, this game has been on hiatus for about a decade. That is an absolute fail to itself. Now, let me say some of the positives before I get back into dusting their ass off. Spider-Man, I told you guys on Next, everywhere else, I wasn't interested in Spider-Man. Spider-Man was like not on my radar. I'm like, it's gonna be like a 6-hour game at the most. But then after seeing the trailer, I got hyped. I'm like, okay, I got to get that game. It looks fantastic. Looks very fun. I'm still not sold on God of War. God of War made me more scared than ever because this kid is, if he doesn't die or if Kratos don't die, I have a problem with that. And now hearing Don,
damn, K Mega want blood, yo.
Okay, look. See, this is the thing that people don't understand.
If you're a fan of God of War,
yeah,
you don't want to tag along person along with you.
Right.
It's just about causing mayhem to the greatest degree.
Yeah, it's going to slow the action down a lot. It really
right.
is.
Well, okay, but see, this is the thing, right? Like, God of War is mindless fun. It's just chaos. It's all about the destruction of another being like you've never seen. And having a kid there, they're going to dumb that down. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? God of War had a dope enough story as it was with the whole, with Zeus and everything that he wanted to do, how it all started off with Ares and all that. I ask anybody to go back and play all three, if not all of the God of Wars from PlayStation, I think 1 all the way down to PlayStation 3.
Started on 2, I believe.
The first one,
yeah.
I thought the first was okay. Started on 2, and play that shit because they are absolutely epic as hell. And one of my favorite franchises of all time. But to add this element in here to this strong story element, not every game needs to have that type of element. I want to have mindless fun. It's just no different when somebody want to come home and want to play Call of Duty. You don't want to have long matches like in Battlefield for 20, 30 minutes. You just want you only got like maybe an hour before you got to go to bed or you got to do something else, and you just want to play COD for maybe 4 or 5 matches and then you got to get off. That's how I feel like God of War is supposed to be. It's supposed to be epic. Let me get into it. Let me kill some shit. And don't give me this kid shit. That shit is garbage to me. Garbage. Anyway, all right. So it's a felon there. Days Gone looked impressive to me. It didn't. It's not a day one buy for me, but it did look good. I give it that. Monster Hunter, that's coming to Xbox as well, but that looks cool. And
you think Monster Hunter looks cool? To me, that I can't understand the hype for that game. Like, it did not look impressive to me, man.
Monster Hunter is super popular on Nintendo.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous popular.
Yeah.
Like it's like just below their first party IP popular.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those games you have to try. You just have to try it and see if you like it.
It's
no
like
one can really tell you.
Not for everybody, right? But he has a huge following.
Right. Look at this little motherfucking kid. What the hell are you doing here? This would be what Kratos is saying. What are you doing here, boy?
Yo, you can't front though. That looked good as shit. Look at that.
Yeah, but no. The game looks gorgeous.
No. That's the remix right there. Yeah.
The game looks gorgeous.
It's not a visual problem.
Yeah, it's not the facial problem.
No, it's
and I'm pretty sure that the story is not a problem per se. But if you are it's just like if with Tomb Raider, that reboot, that still had a similarity of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They added a story element to it, but they didn't, you know what I'm saying? And they did have some tag-alongs with Laura, but Laura had to do most of that shit herself. Kratos getting this kid around. Look, this narrative, this story narrative where you got to have a sidekick is gross to me on every fucking game. It's good for The Last of Us and other shit, but you cannot have every game being like The Last of Us. I don't care what anybody says that. This is my opinion. So overall, like I said, the conference was an absolute fail because they came in so arrogant. They didn't show. They got Noonie Cooney 2 coming out. Everybody talks about Japanese games. That is a cool little JRPG, but they didn't even show it. What, you know what I'm saying?
They don't have faith in the Japanese games. They just think they're going to sell in Japan, man. They don't.
Exactly, but that game sold 1.4 million overall, like, you know, for its lifetime, which is, you know, but some people that's a success to them. But it doesn't. But you know, fuck the sales part. But it's still, you know, everybody was asking about Japanese games, and when you want to talk about PlayStation exclusives, you would think that they would show that. They showed Final Fantasy fishing game. They showed VR shit more than anything. That was a fail in itself. Like, what are you doing?
Crap was excited for the VR stuff, man.
Yeah, but most people, look, like I said, okay, for the people that want to pay $500 for a fucking peripheral, but then they bitch about the Xbox X, kill yourself.
Dude, not for anything. I just don't. The interruption. The Sea of Thieves tech test. I guess Snap's got an email saying that there are no more right now.
Oh.
So, dude, like, Mega, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's kind of a bomb right there because, man, I was looking forward to getting in on kind of like the more advanced Sea of Thieves with what they showed, you know, at the conference and stuff. And if there's no more on the tech test, that sucks right there, yo.
Yeah. So, I heard that they were doing tech tests for the PC. That was one thing that they said that they were doing. So maybe they did that with, they stopped the console aspect of it and they're doing the PC, because that was exactly what they said that Wednesday when they had an interview with one of those people on the show. But anyway, regardless of that, look, the Sony conference was a letdown in all levels, because I thought, like Don said, I thought that they were going to come with it. That's why I was saying that, you know, I thought that they were going to really steal E3, even though everybody was going to claim them to be the winner anyway. But I thought because they had all those marketing deals that they were going to show that they didn't show FIFA, they didn't show Red Dead, they didn't show anything. They showed Destiny. That's it. Like, what the fuck is going on? So, you know what?
That raises a better question. Why did he even show Destiny prior to E3?
Exactly.
Like, if they had the stage at Sony's conference, like, what is going on?
Yeah, and also why you didn't show the biggest game that's going to come out this year, which is Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you not show that?
That blew my mind.
What's going on, people?
What's
up,
she's
Snap?
coming in to say unofficial. I was waiting for that point. What is going on, Snaps? What do you want?
Chilling. I've been listening to you guys, and I was lonely, so I was like, you know what? Let me join the podcast.
Oh shoot!
What up, Snaps?
Nice.
Watch the views jump now.
Nothing much. No, they're not gonna. They're gonna actually decrease. Just so you know.
Anyway. But let me finish. And so just say this. I have a PlayStation 4, and there was games that I'm going to get for the PS4. But the biggest disappointment out of all of this is that everybody was talking about Xbox has no games. But you allow PlayStation to give you 90% of delays for this beginning of 2017, and they give you nothing but 2 exclusives.
They showed like 17 games.
Yeah, they showed only 17 games, and they only give you like maybe 2-3 exclusives at the end of the year in 2017. And that right there has not been discussed with nobody. That is an absolute fail. And plus the fact that their biggest selling IP gets no respect and only comes out half-assed, to where it's official. Forza is the king of racers. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, that's going to touch Forza this year. Nothing. Mark that shit down. So that's it.
Yo, it is awesome. We're hitting on points. We're saying things like when you talked about Forza, as like the Forza 7 trailer is going on. We are hitting this thing like perfectly, in my opinion. Yo, Snaps, did you first of all, what is up with your hate for Spider-Man in tights.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Because I think it's gross. He shouldn't be wearing fucking tights. Put him in
I
some
wear
jeans and a
tights.
t-shirt. You know what? That is a personal problem. You should probably take care of that, Fooskies.
Well, I mean, they're joggers, but
Okay. I want to hear
pretty
that shit.
close. Nah.
Real quick, I'm gonna read you the email that I got. It says technical alpha is now closed. You can still get involved by doing the survey, blah blah blah. Thank you for being a part of the technical alpha play sessions throughout E3 week. Maybe it was just like an E3 special one that's closed. I don't know. Da, 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 da. Right now, I'd like to hear what you have to say, blah blah blah, and that's all I got.
Okay, so basically you're saying unofficially because you don't know if it's just like you said, just like something
It could have
that
been
went
just
down.
the latest features that they showed during E3,
Mm.
which was better than what we got to actually play in the game.
Yeah. So, damn, man, because I really wanted to go in and do what they were showing on the floor, man. Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, we'll find out soon, right?
Yeah, are you still I'm just wondering because Sea of Thieves, we've talked about it for so long. The tech test basically started out as, getting to know how to like kind of like cooperate with your friends or whoever you're on the boat with, and get the boat started, operated, and everything. Are you still interested in Sea of Thieves? Oh snaps!
Sorta. I mean, I'm not as interested as I was before I actually played the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool game. It's fun. But it feels like it's lacking some stuff, and I mean, they did show some new stuff that we haven't been able to play, so I guess we'll find out.
I got you. Now we are on Sony's E3 conference.
Real
So
quick, Jack shit says that sounded fun thing. He said they send that email after every alpha. I don't get them after every alpha
no.
or anything
That's
like
that's how
that.
they're
That's
supposed to work. Is after every wave they do that, and then
yeah.
they
I've
send.
never gotten one of those really. I've gotten a survey, but this one was a different one. But I could be wrong. I mean, it could be just E3 based one.
Mm.
We'll find out.
I got you. Well, like I said, we're
Stay
we're
tuned.
we're
Mhm.
we're on the Sony E3 stuff. Have you seen anything from Sony's conference? I know
Nope.
no. So
Only what you have told me about it. Which was everything from last year. Minus some stuff from last year, and it was short. And God of War looks amazing.
Okay. What
Oh,
about?
and Spider Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say you haven't
Fuck
heard me
him.
talk about Spider-Man.
Fuck him. I can't. I'm just not into Spider Man, you guys. I cannot stand the fact that he's like this adult dude wearing these tights, running around, swinging from fucking.
Well, Superman wears his
Well, he's a
underwear.
teenager.
He's so annoying.
Are you
Superman
sure
wears
we're
his
talking about
underwear on the
Spider-Man?
outside.
I hope he just gets killed one day and doesn't come back.
Shit.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, I'm a pessimist when it
savage.
comes to him, and I just can't stand Spider-Man. I can't stand the fucking fact that he's a hero dressed in a colorful suit and he shoots webs and he wins. I
And
like
he
the bad guys,
wins.
okay? I'm
And
sorry.
he wins. Yeah.
I prefer, you know what? Why does every movie have to have the bad guys losing and the good guys winning? It should be the bad guys win sometimes, right?
Well, look at Suicide Squad.
Well, I
Who
mean,
won, the bad or the bad?
inherently there were a group of bad
Those
people,
bad
but by
guys,
the end of
yeah, I mean, yeah, shit, yeah, those were bad guys. I mean, Deadshot and them well, Deadshot ain't so much like a bad guy, but I mean, yeah, Harley Quinn is definitely bad. So
Speaking of Suicide Squad, I got my Harley Quinn here, and I just ordered the Joker to go with her, my little action figures. Just want to throw that out there.
oh shoot.
I've been looking for them so they can sit happily forever after. Okay, guys. Anyways, continue on with conversations.
no
I don't want to
doubt.
get sidetracked here.
Let me get on Sony's conference. First of all, like Osnap said, I said basically it was a lot of stuff from last year. Now, with that being said, Days Gone. When they showed it last year, I was like, I saw the zombies glitching all over the place when they were in their little horde mode and stuff like that, and it didn't really interest me. But when I saw, like, when when the main character was sneaking by, like, that zombie horde that was just eating by the river, and there was more to it. I'm actually interested in that game, but No release date.
I haven't seen that actually because
I
I didn't get to see any of the Sony
I got to show you
conferences.
that when we have our cigarette
I don't
break
remember
after the
last
show.
year's mostly because I wasn't a Sony fan at the time.
So,
So yeah.
but Spider Man stole the show. If they didn't have Spider Man on stage, there would have been no way to damage control that. Which the gaming media are trying to do right now. They're trying to damage control in terms of Sony's
Mhm.
conference. God of War looked good to me, but then again, I'm new to the franchise. All right, and that you know there's a lot to be said there because people who went through the first three iterations of the title, they see Kratos a certain way. Me, I'm not that kind of nailed down to that perspective of it, so it looked interesting to me. Shadow of the Colossus as well is a game that interests me because I never played it before. All right, but with Mega saying it's a full $60 title, that's not a day one purchase for me at all. Like,
No, not at all. Not at
What's
all.
it's $60 for that remake?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
people were
So
asking it. Yes, it's
so let's
$60.
so let's compare that to other visual remakes, like true remakes, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what it is. Halo 2, how much did they charge for that? The Halo 2 remake?
40?
40
40.
master,
Okay.
and that didn't just come
Came
with
with
Halo
the other
2.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
came with the other games. So like that's where I'm kind of coming from. Like that's a little bit outside. I mean, it's their game.
I'll
They'll charge
bargain
what
bin that shit, man.
the,
It's
Well,
it's their
the
game. They'll
thing
charge what they want. But at the end of the day, I think that's a misstep for sure.
the
well,
thing
not
about it too is that as good as that game is, it was still made back in what was that
the gameplay is going to
The
show
PlayStation
age.
2 era,
yeah
probably
99, 98,
99 to
somewhere around there.
between 98 and 2000.
Yeah, like that's a long time ago. So I mean, it will still feel dated, but I promise you, the first time you climb one of those Colossus, you're gonna be like,
Well,
it's just an awesome feeling.
see, here's the thing. It looks good and everything like that, and I'm glad you brought up about like when it was made in terms of the gameplay because as I was watching it, there was like one Colossus on the screen. There was a part in
Yeah.
the desert. There wasn't too much else. It was just that one, and you climb to the top and all that good stuff. I can see kind of like the dated gameplay in it. I didn't expect that to be a $60 title. Like K Mega just kind of blew my mind with that.
Mhm.
And to me, that's a bargain bin title, and not for anything, but what I see from Sony's exclusives, they hit that bargain bin very quickly. So like I won't wait too long to play it, and I'll play it at a discounted price because there's no way in hell that I'll even think about spending $60 on that. But when it comes to the conference, dude, it was an absolute disaster in my opinion. Now, granted, they need to support VR, and I'm glad they had support there. They showed games for VR. It's a newer piece of hardware, and they have to support it. And to show that there are games coming out, that's good for people who have VR. But like they should have had more games. They had 17 games in total, and for people to say how Sony is so good with publishers and the Japanese developers and stuff like that. I have no idea how they didn't have Star Wars Battlefront 2 on their stage when they have marketing rights to it. There's so many questions after Sony's conference that I mean I was left kind of speechless when it ended. Like when the conference, like they lowered the lights and everything. I was like, that's it, and I don't know. I mean they came out with titles this year with like Nihon, Near, and Horizon Zero Dawn. So in terms of all year around, I mean they have dropped games, right?
Mm.
So
But
the question is, why didn't they show a lot of those third-party games on their stage?
do you have a proposal?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what someone else suggested to me is, I don't know if there's any truth to this. I don't think people comparing gameplay between two platforms.
That sounds like it could be true, man. Like it sounds like they could
It's
have pulled
it,
it.
it's not my idea, and I don't know if that's what they did or anything like that. But
You're
it,
talking about the
it's
X, right?
well, yeah,
Basically.
yeah, exactly. The X versus the Pro, right? I mean, those are the two people want to draw parallels to against one another, right? So,
Yeah.
um, Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's truth to that because let's be honest with you. Like when you do an E3 demo on stage, right? It's a not finished title. It could look better. It could look worse from that time, from when it launches. This goes with all games.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, analyzing actual frames per second and things like that. Like I know Digital Foundry does do that stuff on those sort of things they show on stage, but then again, that's not very professional because it's not even close to the final build. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so I don't really think that's really an issue. So why would they make it an issue? I just don't get it. If that's what they did, I just don't understand why they wouldn't show those games. I mean, they paid for it. It's on their platform.
Yeah, I don't like I said
That's
I
not what
don't
they
know.
paid for. They paid for 4K on their system and not on the One X.
Oh wow, here we go. Here we go. But you know what? In the end, I don't know, man. Less than an hour, 17 games. Now, a few of them like really did spark my interest. I'm glad they're showing VR for the, just over 1 million people who bought a PSVR, but they ended short when they could have, like, there was other games from last year like Dreams and stuff like that that they didn't show. There was absolutely no indies, which was funny to me. I don't know. There's just so many questions, and it just wasn't an entertaining conference, in my opinion. And
That crowd was dead as whoa, it was dead.
whew.
Horrible.
I mean, there was more people playing Candy Crush than paying attention to what was on the screen in front of them.
Oh
Like they were
damn!
playing,
I
but
hate
no, they're
Candy
sitting there,
Crush.
but they're sitting there playing with their phones. Like I don't know if they're tweeting something now that's news related, or they're like literally playing a game on their cell phone instead of paying attention to their conference. Like I thought, Microsoft does this right. They have their fan fest because they want the fans to be there to generate the energy
Hmm.
of the conference, right? It gets people excited, right? And and that's contagious. When you have one person excited, like you get excited, even though you may not be excited, and you're like, "Why am I excited?" It's because of this guy, right? Um, I don't know if they had their fans. If that was their fans that are there, not just media, oof, that one's that's a tough crowd.
That's rough, man.
That is a very rough crowd for sure. Like, yeah, I feel bad for PlayStation Motors. It's not like they're not going to get games or anything like that. It's just, yeah, I think we were all excited to see what they were going to bring for
No
sure.
doubt, no doubt. And guys, because we do want to get to these news topics and stuff like that we have planned for after the wrap up. I want to move on, but first off, I want to say shout out to the 96, 97 people watching right now, guys. Share this podcast out on social media. Hit that like button. Let's get this up over 100. We are almost there, guys. Thank
Share
you.
because I'm here.
Yeah, see,
And hit that like button too.
I see. I said it, man. I got the Swami hat today. I stole it from Mooch.
Or the dislike, since we're only at 30 frames per second.
Oh damn. All right, guys. Let's get into what I'm. For people who don't know, I feel this was the best conference, at E3 this year, which is the Xbox conference. They came in, showed new hardware. No more speculation or anything like that. We have the Xbox One X coming out this holiday. They showed games, Forza 7, Assassin's Creed. They went from exclusives and third party to indies. It was a very well rounded conference in my opinion, and to me they had a couple of surprises. I'm gonna say personally, Metro looks drop dead gorgeous to me, and I cannot wait for that game. I absolutely love the Metro franchise, and I am so happy that they're coming out with another one. And they put in the work on that title, in my opinion.
They definitely did. It's a gorgeous looking game.
Ooh, now, oh snaps! You got into Metro as well. Are you excited that there's another one coming out?
Yeah, I'm really excited, but I want to finish the what is it, 2033? And I haven't finished it mostly because I got stuck at a part that I couldn't figure out how to pass. And the game is kind of like a scary game sometimes.
Oh
I
yeah.
was just like, I put it down one day because I got it on the Xbox, the fucking summer sale, like what, last year.
I think it was last year.
It was dirt cheap. It was like $7 for both, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. And then I was playing it, and then I got stuck, and I haven't gone back to it since. So I need to. I have a reason to, and then I definitely want to get the next.
Nice, nice. And for people out there, O Snaps, when she gets into a single player game, that's absolutely phenomenal.
It's a fucking miracle.
She is
to be
not.
honest.
She is not a single player person. She likes the multiplayer, coming in with friends and playing games with friends, having the party up, all that good stuff. So it's very eye catching when she gets into a single player game.
I get like so into it, and that's all my life. It's like when I read a book. It's a really good book. I get so entwined with it, and that's all I want to do. But when I get stuck in a game, I get frustrated. I put it down, play something else, and then I forget about
I think that happens to a lot.
And then when
of
you
people.
come back to it, you suck at it.
You're like, where
can't
the
remember all the
fuck was
controls,
I?
and you don't know what you're
Exactly.
doing.
So aggravating. So yeah.
But that game. I don't know why more people aren't talking about that game. I know they're talking about, you've seen the gameplay for Anthem right now. I know a lot of people are talking about that, and rightfully so. EA is building this game to kind of compete with Destiny. And when you watch the trailer, you have the people talking. They're like, "Oh, did you go down that tunnel yet?" And then they're like, "Well, no. Well, let's wait for this person." And they're like, "Yeah, because you guys could use the XP." So I could see this game being a lot of fun with friends. But Metro, man, I was completely like blown away by that. Ashen was another one, in my opinion, that we saw that, I think it was 2 years ago at E3, and it didn't look like much. There was a bunch of blank face characters, and they're like, well, you could betray the other person, or you can help them and betray them at any point in time, and that's kind of the niche of the story.
I would betray everybody. Listen.
See, you keep doing that in video games, you are going to be left by yourself. I'm just
Good.
saying. But with this new one, they showed the creatures in the darkness. They showed giants. They showed that there's so much more to this game than what they showed in the beginning, and I'm actually very interested in that title. Like I said, I just think overall it was a great conference. So let's go to Mega real quick. Mega, what did you think about the Xbox conference, man? And like highs, lows, and whatnot, man. Give it to us, on the real, yeah.
Okay, yeah. The lows would be that there was really no AAA titles that was addressed except for Forza. I think that the progression of like State of Decay and even Crackdown could be considered maybe AAA, but nobody's really going to look at those games as a AAA title. So we'll just say one. A lot of people a lot of people get pissed off and saying that Xbox showed a lot of indies and lower tier games, but when PlayStation has done it for countless years in this generation, it was praised. Like you said earlier, PlayStation didn't show any indies, and remember, they were supposed to be the ones that gave a damn about the little guy. Didn't hear anything about that, but Xbox was showing a lot of little guy stuff that was actually pretty intriguing. I'm not the biggest indie guy whatsoever, but games like Ashen, there was one game, I can't think of the name of it, something Swift. It was where there was this samurai and he was fighting and he could
I saw
fight
in the sky,
air.
right? He was
that looked dope.
What?
Then there was another title that was really, really cool. That was it showed all these like different monsters. Like they showed the Sphinx, they showed like Frankenstein, they showed like all different creatures, and then like there was like it was a co-op game where you would shoot them. I couldn't think of that game, but that looked cool.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, we're over 100. I just thought you should know.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you, yo. Shout out to everybody. That's
yes.
awesome.
Yes, yeah. Thank you guys for checking us out, man. Because I could get into my rambling states, and and I could drop us about like 40 people. But you know what? I know
no,
you
that's
guys.
what they come to see, Mega. You don't understand.
I know you guys ready to hear K Mega talk. No,
was there a game? It was something Veil, but I think
Code Vein.
Vein.
Yeah, well, no. That's when I'm going to get to the positives. But I wanted to just
okay. I thought that's what you're talking about. I'm like Veil.
No, that wasn't Code Vein. That wasn't Code Vein. But the negative is that there was no big huge heavy hitter except for Forza, and it just come to show that this was a hardware year, and that when it came to the game lineup for 2017, they have games, but it was sparse in the sense of not having the true AAA titles on the table. The positive, the diversity. There was so many games that had that you could sink your teeth into. How can anybody hate on this show? If you liked card games, you had a Fable card game. If you liked shooters, you had anything from Battlegrounds to
a massive variety.
Yeah, they had a massive variety, which there was like that one game I said it was like the grown-ups version of Dig Dug. It was with the dwarfs. So like
the Space Dwarfs game?
Yeah. Like they had plenty of variety, plus the fact that they had Japanese titles. Xbox showed more Japanese titles than PlayStation. Mm-hmm. That's impressive. That Code Vein, that Black Desert, and I don't want to hear them fucking bullshit. I played it on the PC and it sucked. Who gives a fuck? I never played it. Just because you said it sucked doesn't mean that it sucks for everybody else. So
damn right.
Let me enjoy that game, because I can tell you for so many people that can tell me that a game that's on PlayStation that's a Japanese game and it sucks, and you'll tell me otherwise. So chill. It's this variety. This is what we've been asking for, and Microsoft delivered on that aspect. And like State of Decay, the way that they got that game designed, if you die, you're done. 4-player co-op, you know what I'm saying? You could make your own like compounds, all that shit. Then there was another game that was kind of similar to that looked like Overwatch called Fortnite. That game looked dope. The Origins game, Assassin's Creed. I have not bought an Assassin's Creed for the consoles, but this will be my very first Assassin's Creed that I will buy for the console because it looks dope to me. What can you say about Metro? That shit looked sick. What can you say about Metro? Looks sick. Forza, from everybody, even the most petty motherfucker, as we know, is All Day Digital. Mm-hmm. You know. He even said, man, Forza was the best looking game in the world, like in life. Like there's nothing that's touching that. Even though I know that there was games that's multi-plat, but remember, the X is going to show these games better than ever. And that Dragon Ball goddamn Z. You know what I'm saying?
I was waiting for you to get on that, man.
That Dragon Ball Z is legit, Jack. Like I said, Marvel vs. Capcom, eat your goddamn heart out. This shit that looks so goddamn good. And then, and then just like the other games that they show, Crackdown, we didn't get to see that. Well, that was another disappointment. We didn't get to see the multiplayer aspect of it, but we got to see gameplay, and that was the positive. We got to see Cuphead, the beautiful Ori and the Blind Forest. I mean, damn, goodness. Like there were so many games that they showed, 42 games, 22 exclusives. I don't care how people want to break it down and try to say because some games are going to PC, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It does not matter because there's games. Look, Sega is already is in movies to put Persona 5 and put Yakuza on PC as well. So that bullshit is gone. There's plenty of games out there that's going to PC. We're talking about consoles. And then that Code Vein, I got to have it. There's so many goddamn games I got to have, and I have not been interested in indies or any of these type of MMO type of games like that. But Xbox sold me. Great fucking show. Great show. Great show.
Man, I love one of the things, Mega, like from the first time we started talking, man, like your energy and your passion for gaming, man, you hit 110 out of 100, man. And you could tell how excited you are for the titles coming out. Rightfully so, man, because what you said, diversity, man. There was a kids platformer, you had the card game, like you said. You had in between titles, you had shooters, you had adult themes. Like there was just so many different types of games at this conference. Now, when it came to Crackdown, I'll let you know, I was disappointed at how much they showed. They did not show a lot at all, in my opinion. And I want to let people know that when it comes to that game, they are planning to support that game the way Rockstar supports GTA. So they're coming out, they're going to come out with more content, and stuff like that. And if you notice with GTA, you don't pay for that content when it comes out, and they just keep adding to the game.
Yeah.
That's what they're planning on doing with Crackdown, and I have no idea why they didn't say anything in this conference about that. No
Well,
idea.
but there were so many games that were shown, Xbox, that like I can't even name them all. But just more came to my mind. Ashen. That game last year, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Mhm.
Looking at that new trailer that they showed, oh my God, that is so dope. Like, I mean, they might turn me into the new Randolph Poor because these indies look dope as shit. Like, and in high quality, like that platformer. Like, man, look, you know what? I gotta play it. I got to play it. Like,
But
damn,
you know
why
what,
are
though?
you doing it?
That's a byproduct of the tools getting better, and
Yes.
these indie developers are getting more ambitious. We want to encourage them to get ambitious about this stuff, not just like, hey, here's a little quirky pixel art game, right? Like, bring the heat. If you're really passionate about it, do it.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, that line's blurred for sure.
Yeah,
and
no
then
doubt.
probably the biggest game out of all of them was Anthem.
UK dads. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kiss everyone's
He's
fucking
stupid.
ring.
But yeah, but Anthem, I know that is a multi-plat, but this is the game right here that's going to put Destiny on notice. You can tell EA is gunning for Activision, and for everything that Activision has put out there, there's something that's going to complement it, and that right there is going to tell me that this game is going to have everything that Destiny has, but even more, just like Battlefield 1. And I'm all over that game. Like I said, I mean, the Xbox show, it did its job. It showed the diversity in gaming. It showed us the power, because I've never seen games off. And shout out to Mixer. Mixer was absolutely flawless. Every game looked top notch. Every conference looked so good, and all those games in 4K. And I know that it doesn't do it justice in person, but those games look so fucking good coming off of my television screen that it's like, kudos to Microsoft innovating gaming once again and not getting the praise. Kudos to you, Microsoft.
No, one thing I gotta say about Mixer, and people know, like, I am
Mixer sucks.
I am not a fan of Mixer, but when it came to the conferences, usually when it comes to the Xbox conference, I use XLEI, which is Xbox Live Event Interactive, right? That was an app that we got, from the beginning of this generation, and that thing was so glitchy every year. Like, at one point in time, the conference went from English to French without me doing anything. Just a bunch of weird glitches.
That wasn't a glitch. Kinect looked at you and said, "Oh, this guy needs French." That's pretty much how that works.
I hate Mixer with everything in me.
But Mixer did a good job. Like, I was able to, on their live reaction, I was using Mixer for the stream, and they held it down. There was no French, no German. There was only maybe 2 or 3 times that, like, it buffered real quick, but other than that, it was on point. So, I got to give credit where it's due. I am not the biggest Mixer fan at all. But then again, I also believe in having all my content in one place as well. So, but with that being said, oh snaps, did you get to see anything from the Xbox conference?
Yes, I got to see everything from the Xbox conference.
All right, so would you like to share with us and everybody in the chat your thoughts and opinions on what Xbox showed this year?
Well, yeah, it was mediocre. Like, I liked the conference, but I was disappointed. Obviously the hardware, the Xbox One X, looks just like a Slim. I mean, obviously there's some differences, but I was really disappointed about that.
Has it grown on you?
Huh?
Has it grown on you, or are you still kind of the same?
It actually has grown on me a little bit.
I have a similar reaction to it as well. So,
like, after looking at pictures of it, it's like when you have a crush and you're like, Well, they're not that great looking, but then you're like, you know what? I kind of like this about them. But you know what? It's all about the personality at the end of the day, right?
Wow,
So,
she's talking about our relationship right now.
Well, how I look at it is I'm not a fucking interior decorator. I'm a gamer, so I'm not looking at the game system. I'm looking at the
I'm
game.
looking at the system because I have multiple systems,
Damn
and
female,
I
it's
was look.
arising.
It ain't gonna take up
I,
much space.
I was expecting something different, and I
I
guess
think we all were.
that's where we set expectations, and then that's we fool ourselves. But the look of it has definitely grown on me. I like it. I've read that it's much smaller. I don't know how much smaller, but it's
It's
gonna
pretty
it's gonna
damn
be
small.
nice. It is.
Yeah, it's really damn small.
It's
I got
almost the
I
size
got
of
a
a
chance.
controller.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, seeing it in a picture and then
Shut
seeing it
up,
in your
Foos.
living room is gonna be totally different.
It kind of reminds me of the original Xbox One S and a PS2
Yeah.
had a baby. Like literally, like that's kind of what it reminds me in person.
They had a baby.
Damn, I can see that.
So I don't know. I was not impressed by that at first, but it is what it is. So it's grown on me. The price, I was expecting the price to be between 450 and 500. So I guess I'm okay with the price. And the games, they did have a lot of variety. I mean, K Mega spewed out so many different games, and I'm just like overwhelmed because it's been days since I saw it, and that's it. Like I've been out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm definitely looking forward to State of Decay 2. I've got to play Life is Strange because I want to play the second one. I know a lot of people are excited about that, and a lot of people talk about how amazing the story was for that. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I don't even know right now. Just my mind is out there, but there's a lot that. What the frick is that game? Not Veil.
Code Vein.
Code Vein. Jesus Christ! Why can I remember that? That one was really interesting, and the Metro Exodus. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So there's just so much, and I know we'll get a lot, and there's some that we won't, or we'll wait till it's on sale.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I was entertained by it. I guess in a sense I was a little bit disappointed because like Crackdown, they didn't show really much of Crackdown at all. I was like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
Like they showed this at last E3, probably more last E3 than they did this year. So it's kind of
Well,
fucking.
if you looked at the rest of the show, they talked to the developers of the game, and they showed maybe about like 30, like maybe 20 to, well, 15 to 30 minutes of it. Because there was so much content that they were showing all through the E3 show. Go back and look, and they showed like probably 15 to 30 minutes of gameplay where they
Okay, well then I didn't watch the whole thing. I
Well-
watched the conference that was an hour and whatever long.
Yeah.
Let me just say
But then-
real quick, Snaps. When it comes to that stuff, like Mega, let's be honest. Like they do that all the time for E3s anyway. But when you have your conference, that is the main stage. This is when you are gonna really, hook people. This is when a lot of the people are watching on streams and everything like that as well. And a lot of them don't bother to go in throughout the rest of the week, to see the extra gameplay or whatnot. So this was kind of like, this was the hook to kind of get the fish. And then, the rest of the week is reeling that fish in more. So I wanted a shinier, bigger hook.
But I wasn't around for the rest of the week, so
Well, no, that's fine. I mean, I'm just saying there was more content, but I mean, you're right. Like
I know, but
people
for
look
at that
it
point in
and-
time,
Yeah.
I was disappointed because I thought we would see more. And I
Right.
feel like we definitely saw more at the first E3. But on the bright side, we did see quite a bit of games and variety, and that's what everybody wants, right? They want games, so they're giving us games.
Yeah, definitely. Did you really think like, because when it's all said and done, they showed like 42 games in total. Were you happy with that amount?
I mean, I'm not gonna play all of them. So I guess so. I mean, I'd be happy with 3 games if it was 3 really awesome games. As to 30 mediocre games or 50 not so great games. State of Decay 2 probably is like on my top list because I'm a big zombie fan. So real quick, Cypherman in the chat says, so let me ask y'all a question. When y'all saw Spider-Man, god damn it, run on the wall, Didn't it remind you of Sunset Overdrive?
Yes.
Yes.
There was a lot of elements from that game that
Mhm.
seemed like other games. I felt like, and even the mechanics of some of the gameplay just felt a whole lot like other ones.
Nice. Well, that is a really cool thing to point out because that's one of the reasons why I was excited for Spider-Man. Not only is it like I grew up, my dad used to collect comic books, and I grew up reading Spider-Man. He used to let me go in and read anything I wanted. I mean, I was reading first appearance of the Punisher, first appearance of Wolverine, Stan Lee Spider-Man's. Like I had full range, and Spider-Man was my favorite character. And to see a quality developer like Insomniac, be in charge of that title, a licensed product, a Spider-Man video game, and I thought about how much fun I had with Sunset Overdrive, and to me that was a win-win right there. And
Yeah, I thought. I'm sorry to cut
no,
you
it's
off.
okay.
I thought Sea of Thieves was gonna go into game preview, and I'm kind of disappointed about that. I just want to throw that out there because
That
I'm
would've
kind
been
of
awesome.
mad. All right, the
Well,
game.
it's not coming out until next year, though. So
Yeah, I understand that, but I thought it was gonna go in preview. It's been a while, guys. What the hell?
What are you clicking? Because we can hear you.
Oh, tabs upon tabs upon tabs. You know me.
Uh
Yeah. Okay.
huh. All right.
I'm done speaking.
Okay, we're
No
waiting
mas.
for the. waiting
she's
for the
turned. She's made it all quiet and awkward and shit. Nobody don't want to say nothing. I'll be the one to combat her ass. Let me explain something.
Let's go. I just punched my table.
Go. No, I'm just no. Look, I don't have any problem with what you were saying. I mean, look, I'm not caring about the accessory part of it, but you are female. That you know what I'm saying.
God, but I was saying the same thing though.
No, but I mean,
You are a female also.
She is a female. She wants some shit to look cute and match her shit.
Metrosexual.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah, bot, you a metrosexual. It's all right. That's all right. I know you
She's been
smell
telling me.
good.
She's been telling me she wants to bleach my hair, and I've been
He won't
avoiding.
let me.
I've been avoiding that. So
Listen.
It whacks your eyebrows.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no! My eyebrows,
Anyway.
my eyebrows are golden, man.
Yeah, stupid. But anyway, but no. But the thing that I want to ask Snaps is that okay, we asked for variety, and I know that none of us is going to buy all 42 games, but because there are smaller titles, that means that you'll be disappointed in the show because I mean you guys buy smaller titles.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all bought Drawn Together. I got Drawn Together. You got y'all play all different types of indies, so you would think that this would be a show that was right up you guys' alley because these games are not only going to be smaller titles, but they're going to be cheaper titles on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? But you make a good point. And the thing is, smaller titles don't necessarily mean it's not going to be as good of a game as a AAA. So I always keep my options open.
Okay, well that's all. That's it. I can't be too mean to a lady, but you know what I'm
Oh
saying.
yes, you can. Let's go.
No, if you had Bot's voice, I would light your ass up, but I can't.
Maybe I do.
So you light up 13-year-old boys is what you're trying to say, man?
Yes, 15-year-old boys. I treat you like my goddamn son. Get your ass off this goddamn thing and wash those dishes, and let's get to the topic. No,
Nice.
No, but I love everybody's opinion though because it's just like with God of War. Fuski is totally in love with it. Me and Don, and I didn't know Don had blood lineage with Vikings, so now he wears
Wait. I don't have a man crush or nothing on that shit. I just like it.
Yeah,
it just look good.
You was man crushing. You was like, oh man, God of War, Kratos. That beard was looking so divine.
Oh, okay.
What was it?
He
A
had
dragon?
a golden beard. Oh,
that Leviathan thing looked dope. That was the only thing that reminded me of God of War was that big ass fucking snake creature that came out the water, and it looked like it was going to befriend Kratos instead of fight him. And hopefully but that's the thing that it seems like it's not going to be as gory when the kid is around, but. When he doesn't have the kid around, I think that's when he'll kick ass. But to me, that's a fail in my opinion. But you know what? Look, for anybody that's excited for God of War, go at it, man. I mean,
I'm going
Gamers
to.
Unite.
That game looks fun. I've never really paid attention to it up until this year, to be honest. So I was kind of Like I was wowed by it, so I'm
Oh,
interested.
it looks beautiful. That's
Hmm.
not denied. And I'm gonna get it anyway because it's God of War. I always support the franchises that I love. But
Nice.
if this game is bad, just make sure I'm gonna get a video that's gonna get probably about 300 dislikes because I'm gonna clown the shit
Hey,
out of it.
Hey,
as long as you're honest.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest about it. I'm always
it's still
honest.
interaction on your channel, man. Whether it's thumbs up
Yeah,
or thumbs down, you know.
it's still interaction.
Yo, I gotta ask Foos, man, because you didn't really get too much into the Nintendo. You don't have time for Nintendo. You saw some stuff from Sony, but I know you checked out the Xbox conference, man. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, that shit had me so hyped. I just really wanted to see the X and what it could do because the way they were talking, it sounded like a beast. And when I seen Forza, that shit look hot. Oh my goodness, the way everything it wasn't shimmering on my screen the way the old Forzas was. That's what made me realize 4K is the truth. So yeah, I was pretty excited to see that, obviously. But games wise, like everybody said, it was just game after game after game, and that's what they needed to do. So I definitely feel that they won. Um, they showed so much variety that everybody can get behind, and yeah, I'm excited. It looks like it's going to be pretty crazy heading up to the next year and seeing what happens.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like, dude, when it's all said and done, man, after I saw all the conferences and stuff, I was like, you know what, like, I don't know how anybody could give Xbox that L or whatever for this conference. And of course, some people they try their hardest to do so, but I think overall it was quality. I mean, you could talk about kind of like I guess you could say the lack of triple A's, but I think the diversity took it over, and
Oh yeah,
showing games like Forza 7, which we all expected, but in Crackdown, but surprising us with the Metro and then Anthem and then the smaller titles and State of Decay 2 and stuff. Dude, I don't know how anybody could say this was a bad conference at all, man.
right. Yeah, and dude, I am so pumped for Anthem. Like, if no anybody that knows me knows I have a love hate for Destiny. It's definitely a fun game. I did enjoy it, but it just their practices and things that they pulled to really rip people off, it was pretty shitty. So I'm not really trying to go that route and pick up Destiny 2 in the first place. So to see that Anthem's coming out and looking the way it does, I mean, if that's half the game they give us with the way the wildlife was in the background and everything, that's gonna be a dope ass game. And yeah, I think that's the Destiny killer right there. I'm looking forward to that one. Metro, oh my goodness, I played the other ones and the stories for them, and like Snap said, they have a lot of scary elements to them. Those games, if you haven't tried them, you definitely need to pick them up. They are dope.
Dude, now
First person shooter wise, they are top notch too.
yo, you're talking about the story with Metro, man. Like, I gotta say, this is the only title where I can see, like, they deal with certain kind of, I guess you could say, negative communities. Because, like, in the first two titles, part of the Metro, which is the Russian subway system, part of it
Hmm.
is held down by the Nazis. Another part is held down by the communist Russians. And another part is held down by like a group of people who are trying to make it more of a democracy. To have that element plus the supernatural element plus the element of nuclear fallout with mutated
Hmm.
creatures and everything, dude, that those titles, man, they're just so packed with story
Well,
and
it
things.
was a book before it was a game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's wild. It's something that you have to pick up and try and play through it. Don't get bored with the beginning because they got to tell you how to play it and get you into the story. But it definitely picks up. Yeah, so in this one, when I watched them play that, I ain't never seen a game look like that before. When that monster first jumped out and he had to fight it off, if that's the real game, oh my goodness.
That big ass mole, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to believe a lot of stuff when you've seen E3s after E3s and they downgrade everything. So hopefully they don't do a lot
True.
of downgrading with it because those games, if that's what they look like, that's going to be Xbox One X sellers for sure, because that's where they're going to look the best, honestly.
No doubt, man. Yo, Don, man, you do you care to chime in on the Xbox conference?
On the Xbox conference, I enjoyed it. They sold me on a couple of games. I've been fired up for Crackdown. I thought Crackdown 2 was a swing and a miss. I keep hearing this is more like Crackdown 1, so that's a win for me. I think they failed by not showing the multiplayer stuff. I know we're going to see more of it between now and when it releases, but I really feel that's where that game shines even more. And I think a lot of what Microsoft did was very reactionary to people reacting to them possibly not having campaigns in their games and people taking things out of context and running around with it. So we got the secondhand experience of what Crackdown's going to be,
Mm.
on stage. Maybe wrong, but that's an impression I kind of get. And everything seemed kind of reactionary. Oh, you say we don't have any games? Well, got some games for you, right? The number was quite long, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tried to show the variety. There's a lot of games that I didn't care about, but not all games are going to be for me. They're going to be for other people as well. That's what a platform provider is supposed to do. I really felt they did a little bit better on the transparency on what was 4K and what was not. I think people are going to be very critical of that. And I think they kind of walked into a little bit of a nest on that situation.
Are
But
you talking like the Assassin's Creed thing, or?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to that I think it's overblown, right? It's a piece of code that a part of the team branches off 3 to 6 months prior to E3. They do a vertical slice for a build, right?
Mm-hmm.
They you know they capture footage on a dev kit that's basically has still 30% overhead. They still developers can't touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they optimize that sort of stuff till the very end of the game's launch. And now everyone will focus on the smallest number, not necessarily the number they normally hit all the time, and the quality and the draw distance and some of the other stuff they decided to do in the game design for that particular console.
Mm.
Everyone will focus on that negative thing because it's really not negative. They just try to create it as an equalizer between two platforms. And at the end of the day, you're not celebrating the game and what the game is supposed to be and that sort of thing. Where if they came down a little bit lower and say, hey, this is not native, or just say Xbox One enhanced and left the 4K off on that one, I think they would have avoided that. If you know what I mean. Um,
I don't think in the end I don't think there's any avoidance anyway because Xbox and Microsoft they're under a magnifying glass for absolutely everything. I mean, let's be honest
but
here.
but if you treat your customer, you always treat your customer as under promise and over deliver,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
That's how you treat the customer. And I think that's the reason why some people that normally are pretty level headed are not level headed about the whole situation. Because you get these reactionary type responses. Yes, they're under our microscope, but I felt like they could have done that better. And the game may end up being 4K. We don't know what decisions they're going to make till it launches, right? Um, and then you had Forza was definitely a showpiece as far as that goes. And the third party stuff they did show, they're day one buys for me. I have never been a Metro guy, but after seeing that, I am so in. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to buy the older ones after seeing that demo
Mhm.
and play it. So not only did not Microsoft, but that team sold me on their current game, but they sold me on their previous games.
Nice,
And
nice.
it,
That is definitely a win. And dude, I will let you know, you will not be disappointed, man. We've talked to each other for a while, and I get a good idea of like your taste in games and stuff. There's so much in these Metro titles. When me and O Snaps picked up the first two because it was a bundle, for a summer sale, we could not like I could not believe how cheap they were selling these games for. And dude, you'll have a blast, yo.
yeah, I definitely gonna enjoy it, and and I always buy new. I don't never buy used. I don't go to the bargain bin. I believe in supporting the developers. I believe in supporting the gamer as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what goes around comes around. Feeding money back into that system makes it so more titles are made, and people can take bigger risk and things like that. So I always self feed into that. But sometimes a game's not worth $60 to me. Just like anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just wait. And there's usually we have so many good games to play. But the cool thing is about Metro is I'm excited. I'm excited that I have time to play the old ones before I dive into the new one. So like that was a win. As far as that goes, I'm really excited about Anthem. I think everyone is. I think that's kind of a given for a lot of people. But Destiny, a lot of times it's being compared to Destiny, right? But the problem with Destiny, as much as I had enjoyment with that game, I have had equal amount of frustration or more frustration than I've had with the game. So that's the problem with Destiny. It's got those hooks in you that makes you want to just keep logging and turning on, but doesn't necessarily mean you're always enjoying what you're doing. You're out there playing it. When it's at its best, it's a phenomenal game. But there's a lot of things that with Destiny 2, like a lot of the core group of people I would play Destiny with have all moved on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'm going to do that. So if I'm starting fresh, might as well start fresh with something that looks and feels fresh, and a company that has a true pedigree when it comes to RPG style games. If
Mm.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They have a history of it. They have way more of a history. Bungie's a talented group, right? That's not their background as a studio. And so I'm excited for what those guys bring. All in all, it was a good conference. And, I honestly expected Sony's conference to be very similar, but showing more of the third party multiplats that we were going to receive.
Yeah.
But obviously that didn't happen. So they delivered on what they promised. I think they were out of the three main platform providers. They were definitely number one, in my eye, not because that's my preferred platform, but because they give everybody everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nintendo being number two because they address at least their core audience. In PlayStation, it was number three out of the bunch, but there's three conferences, so somebody's got to be number three, right? So, that's just at the end of the day, right? That's just how it goes, and hopefully they take it, people's criticisms to heart, and they bring the heat next time, and I'm gonna give them credit where credit's due. I think they will. I think this was a hard blow for them for sure.
No doubt, no doubt, man. I mean, all in all, I had a lot of fun, with this year's E3. You had some confusion and some drama when it came down to Sony, but then like all in all, Nintendo came with what you would expect from them, but with a lot of it. Microsoft, I know my name is Xbot, and I know everybody on the panel has Xbox Ones, but dude, to be able to show hardware, right, and still show 42 games, 22 being some type of exclusive, and really going in game after game and showing the diversity, it had to be. It's one of the best conferences in my opinion that Xbox has put out there. I really enjoyed it. I was surprised, and that's a big thing to me. To be surprised by titles, to see a kid like platformer in the middle of the show, get some love. To see Ashen and what they've done with that, release date for Cuphead. There's just so much that they showed in the conference, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Don, I did not set this up well for you, man, and I hope you can handle this. But with this
Well,
being said, we gave our thoughts about the conference here. Is there something else you might want to talk about, sir?
well, and I think it's something a lot of people want to talk about. It's not just necessarily me and that sort of thing. I guess the biggest hot topic, I guess, within the community yes, is
Ooh, that's two.
I was going to say I
It
can't make his name,
gets
but if
to
you want me
two.
to tie it to that, okay, whatever. But no, but no, like the hot topic is frames per second. There is an expectation, I think, but some people misplace. People take certain things out of context, things like that with the Xbox One X. Everyone thinking every game's going to hit 4K 60.
Fake news.
Uh, you know, expecting every third-party developer to do it, even though Microsoft has been publicly, it will leave what the developer wants to do is what the developer wants to do.
Fake news.
Over a year, fake news, for example.
Hell yeah, I'm getting people on that train. Just putting what the fuck ever. I love it.
So what has happened because of all that is people are demanding 60 frames per second on their games.
Mhm.
It's like I literally look at it as like people look at it as give me 60 frames per second or death. Is kind of the attitude that.
Wow.
I'm about to play a lot of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's
No one's
horrible.
gonna understand what I'm saying if you keep hitting them.
Keep going. I'm sorry, bro.
All right. So, so the big thing is 60 frames per second. Everyone's, there's a big segment of I wouldn't say the majority, but a loud minority that's pushing for it, right? And a lot of people I don't think really understand what frames per second is in the game. I think some people like Xbot, myself, I'm not sure where Game Mega stands, kind of feel more of leaving it to the developer. But I want to use this opportunity for everyone to kind of express what they know about 60 frames per second in a game.
Hold on, Don. Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Look at those numbers.
Oh my god.
All right, go ahead. My bad, dude.
Okay.
I got one more. I got one more before you start.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on. All right, let's go. Let's go.
So I want everyone's take on what they understand about 60 frames per second in games. The perception is 60 frames per second always makes a game play better. I will tell you the honest truth down the road, but I want to hear what everyone else has to say. And we're just going to go down the panel. We'll start with Xbot because he's got a soundboard apparently now. So go ahead. I mean,
Look at those numbers.
All right, my opinion about 60 frames per second. All right, bless you. That is my opinion. Okay, now, the thing is,
God damn it! I'm allergic to this bullshit.
I love it.
There's two places where I see 60 frames per second as being meaningful. Competitive first-person shooter, racing simulation, right? When it comes to open world and stuff like that, I don't expect 60 frames per second, especially on when it comes to the One X, because in all actuality, the One X is a family of Xbox One devices, and they want their game to be at least on par when it comes to FPS and stuff like that. Graphically, they could do whatever the hell they want on the X, but if you're competitive and stuff like that, and you have like open world, it's going to be 30 frames per second. Multiplayer, they're going to keep it 30 frames per second across the board, or 60 frames per second across the board, depending on what the hardware can handle. I don't think 60 frames is the end all be all. I think it's more I guess you could say important than native resolution, because to me, native resolution, I even know this from developers, and this was before I even met Don, that native resolution is one of the absolute last things that a developer kind of figures out when it comes to their game. And this generation, we made it number one for like 3 years.
So you would say we've been going about it backwards.
Completely backwards.
Okay, so hold on. I want everyone that's listening, everyone on the podcast, to hold on to that same concept when it comes to.
Okay, go ahead.
When it comes to resolution, because it actually relates to frames per second actually quite a bit. So keep on going.
Okay, but in the end, like I like to leave it up to the developer. The developer has a certain idea about their game, and I like to leave it up to them as to what they think they want to do. There's points in time, like I gave an example of a horror game, right? A horror game at 30 frames per second, just to be able to slow down the movement the tiniest bit. for like the little things that are going on in the background, like the little kind of scary nuances that you have a really good chance of flying by at like 60 frames and stuff like that. I feel the developer knows what they want to do for a game. I don't feel it's all technically about well what the hardware can handle, because I don't think every dev out there is just thinking 60 frames per second and oh shit, the hardware can't handle it, we gotta go 30. Like I feel that
There's absolute truth to that. They don't go about it that way. In regards to that, but I'll get into details about exactly how they go about at least big studios and how they go about it and how they determine frame rate before they even actually start making the game to a certain degree.
okay.
But but I'm gonna cut off Xbox because keep letting him go. He'll keep on
I'll
going,
keep going.
and then we'll forget about everybody else, right? But I want to get Foos's take on this. I know he's a fan of 60 frames per second, but I want to know what he feels like. Is it? Do you feel like it's a broad brushstroke for all
I
gaming?
I know that 60 is greater than 30. Fight me, bro.
Oh,
No.
fight.
Mm.
I think that's the problem though. Like I never thought anything about 60 frames per second or
All
30
right,
frames
tell
per
the truth.
second
Now,
last generation.
I was about to give Fusky this work. I was about to take him to church.
Yeah. But and then I got a TV with 120 frames per second and I noticed that things look different. Things
Mhm.
moved smoother, you know what it is when you see that difference.
Yeah, the
And
120 hertz is what you're referring to.
right.
Yeah,
But
gotcha.
what gets me is that Forza, Forza 6, Forza 5, whatever you play, it is
It's
definitely a smooth
Forza,
experience.
Thank
not
you.
Forza.
Forza.
It's
Thank you.
Well,
Forza.
where I'm from, we don't.
Oh, so where you from?
Nah,
Go ahead,
anyway.
bro.
But yeah, like I played Forza, and it definitely is smooth when you're playing at 60 frames per second.
Well,
And
let me
I'm
ask you this question:
okay.
Do you think Forza Horizon is not smooth handling?
That's where I'm going. And
Yeah,
then when
actually,
I go play Forza Horizon 3, yes, it feels different. I can slightly feel a difference, but it doesn't affect how I play. It just affects how I adjust to the game, if you know what I mean.
hmm
And I don't really see any problem with it just because the fact that I can still go into Forza Horizon 3 and enjoy that game,
see,
whether or not it's 60
so there's a good
or
reason for
30.
that. So actually, the Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsports inputs are actually not dependent by the frames per second. It's actually tied to the physics engine that's running in the background.
Hmm.
That's it's what's going on, and that physics engine actually runs at 120 cycles per second. So it's actually tied to that. So that's a perfect example of a case of a game that's not tied to frame rate at all. And matter of fact, and that's the reason why when people go onto a PC and they try to run Forza Horizon at 60 frames per second, which is kind of a shit show,
Hmm.
it breaks the game sometimes, because what it does is it basically you're trying to shoehorn, basically strong arm all this code all at once to get the additional 60 frames per second, and what it does is it brings some of the physics engine stuff to a halt. And so yeah, you may be able to get 60 frames per second, but you're like, man, this thing doesn't control right. That is something that does happen with Forza Horizon. If you don't have your configuration set just right in that. But there's a reason why those two feel very similar as far as the response. There is a difference, but that's more or less like the tire models and how they adjusted the physics for the particular style of game.
Hmm.
In regards to that. But anyways, keep on going, Foods. I just felt like that was a good one to chime in on.
Transferring power.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I think gaming wise, I haven't really felt enough of like a change. I can definitely feel a smoothness with 60 frames, but it's definitely not anything that's affected my game and how much I've enjoyed it. Same with like Destiny. There's even been times when I'm playing Destiny and I think, how is this 30 frames per second? Because there's times when that it does feel a lot smoother. So, I I just know 60 is greater than 30, and I think that's how a lot of people are.
That's fair enough. I mean, I think that's how a lot of people think, and I think there's also a lot of people on the whole PC side of things
Don,
that kind of push that agenda too.
Don, the one
Mhm.
thing that's getting me kind of like PO'd with this whole FPS thing is everybody keeps pointing to PC, and like what frustrates me is within the PC gaming community, the PC gaming community is a totally different animal when it comes to gaming than console. All right, you have so many people putting down so much money for insane specs that it changes the entire dynamic of that community. It
Yeah,
makes
but but here's the weird thing about PC, and they're not going to like to hear this, but they don't. Most of these people don't build their games around PC specs, right? Because there's too many specs, too many verification, variants that are out there, right? They go for what the console's spec is, and obviously make their engine scalable. So basically, what they do is for the PC guys, they just say, "Well, here's all the settings. You figure it out. It's your problem, right? It's not our problem, right?" And then when you have these sort of situations, they can like brute force around how the game was really designed to play.
well, that's changing the dynamic right there.
Well, it is and it doesn't sometimes, and that's what a lot of PC players don't know, because what they do is they're putting more pride in their rig than just trying to enjoy the game.
Ooh, can
As
you
far
can you
as
say that one more time?
they're more putting more pride in their rig
Mm.
than they are into the game, because they're basically it's a stick measuring contest. No, I got this 1080 card. No, I got this 1070. No, I'm running Ryzen. No, I'm
Bless you.
running Intel. Like, no one cares
Thank you.
except
I
for
thought I was muted because
Yeah.
no one said anything.
no one cares except for that group that plays PCs, right? Like, and that's what a lot of PC players don't know and don't understand. But I'll get more into that, and I think you guys will have much better understanding in it. But I want to kind of hear where everyone's coming from on this, and then I'm going to bring up some things that do happen on the development side, on behind the scenes. And what it's going to do is, I think it's going to enlighten people. And what it's going to do is, if when people see certain things in a game, they can have a conversation with the developer versus having a closed mindset coming to a developer and demanding things. So the next thing I wanted to do is let's hit snaps. I mean, what's your opinion on 60 frames or not, or does it matter? Does it matter to you? What's your take on it? All that sort of stuff.
I think I'm allergic to all this FPS talk. It doesn't bother me. I don't really pay too much attention. Yeah, I'm a casual gamer. Woo. Yeah, I just get annoyed with
Doesn't
like
exist,
seeing like
folks.
Queen
exactly.
casual,
Like I see
king
people
neutral,
like,
like queen casual.
hey, kind of like that.
I was gonna say I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I see like people constantly like talking about it all at one time. Like first it won't matter. No one says shit about it. It's nothing. And then everybody's like, oh my God, FPS bullshit, blah, 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 60-30, 60-30. To me, I'm just like, it's a fucking game. I don't care as long as it runs. I'm happy. I don't care how many frames it. Okay, one time, I'm gonna tell you guys a great story. I had a beta code for Friday the 13th, and it was doing 3 frames per second on my PC, and that was horrible. That's all I know. That's all I know about frames per second. Doesn't work out at 3. But yeah, other than that, it is what it is. I just want people to enjoy games, and sometimes like it gets overwhelming when people take it to the length where it's like really technical, and I'm like, I don't speak that language. Okay.
No, that's understandable. So to you, it just you feel like it just goes over your head and it doesn't matter.
No,
Like,
it doesn't
it's
matter.
really never connected with you. And
No.
then King Mega, what's your take on it?
Look, I didn't know that this was the Dev and the Gamer, and what the fuck made you the host? Anyway,
He made himself. He's got the ring.
anyway, no, hold on. Let's
Built a net worth of more than $10 billion.
Oh,
That's what he said.
okay.
Man, you're
Hold
gonna
on,
trigger
hold on.
people playing the president in the background, man. You just
That
you
is
gotta stop
hilarious.
with that.
This is hilarious. For all my gamers out there that don't give a fuck about FPS, let me hear the war cry.
Work.
Ooh.
Let me just make this
I
clear.
don't know what a war cry is.
Let me just make
I'm
this
really rich.
clear.
There you go.
Now,
You're
okay.
gonna get a shot. Oh shit! Too soon.
Oh yeah, I'm about to shoot this jack right now. I'm about to get stupid. Okay, my boy that I love and I respect, Fonzarelli, is in here, and I hope you hear this. And everybody else that's on this FPS bullshit. My boy Fonzarelli and others, they have not played. There's been other people that has not played the Forza series at all. Now, they jump on and they play Forza Horizon. 30 frames fucking per second, and they love that game. Love it. Love it. Okay? Then we come up and then we look at other games that's down the line, like Persona 5, The Last of Us, because you have the option. But when The Last of Us first came out, it was 30 frames per second. Persona 5, 30 frames per second. Final Fantasy 15, 30 frames per second. The new Crash Bandicoot that's being remastered, 30 frames per second. I guarantee you the Shadow of the Colossus, 30 frames per second. Are any of those gamers going to open their mouths and say, I want 60 frames? Absolutely fucking not. Because you know why? They just want to play the games. If anybody wants to question anything, you question the publishers, you question the devs, and why they have this reasoning why 30 frames per second is so prevalent on the consoles. PC, it's different because you have a lot of people that play shooters and other games with a mouse and keyboard. It's different for them. It's a whole different animal. And just because of that bullshit bleeded over into the consoles, then here you go and you hear people saying, well, 60 frames per second does feel better. Listen, try to play Project Cars 2 on your PC going anything over 60 frames per second or 30, 40, 50 frames per second. That shit is almost impossible because the game is already hard to play as it is because of how the driving mechanics are. It's only for certain games that I say that you should have a higher frame rate, which is shooters, fighters, sports games. But not every fucking game. I don't give a fuck about Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out and being 60 frames per second. Nobody else will too. Nobody, when they're playing Assassin's Creed, is going to give a fuck about that game being 30 frames per second compared to 60 frames per second, except for the people that's going to put and analyze this shit so they can bitch about this console war bullshit. That is all this is. We have been playing at lower frames per second since the fucking consoles has been born. So why the fuck does it matter now? It's all because of console war bullshit. If you have a problem with it, talk to the goddamn devs, talk to the publishers, talk to somebody else. Don't go after Phil. Don't go after the hardware. The hardware is capable. The Xbox One X can do it. Hell, the Xbox Fat can do it. Look at Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct goes over. Go over 60 frames per second. It goes 80 to 90. Frames per second.
I thought it was 120. Usually they double is what
they
do. So.
Well, it's over. So it's not. So at that point, when Killer Instinct was out there, I didn't hear anybody talking about frames per second. What were they talking about? Resolution. They were talking about why is Killer Instinct not 1080p. They weren't talking about the frames per second. This is only the bullshit that is only giving life and birthing more rhetoric for the fucking console war. And that is stupid. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. We're console gamers. I got a gaming PC, but I prefer my console. I would give two rats asses because let me make this other point. Okay. I got two versions of I got multiple versions of games on my PC and on the Xbox One. Now, when I played I can't think of the game. It's a 360 it's a 360 backwards compatible game. Bound by Flames, that's what it is. Bound by Flames. When I first played it on the PC, I'm like, oh my god, this shit looks fantastic. This shit plays smooth. I played it on my 360. It doesn't look as good as what my PC pushes because it's not as powerful as my console. I mean, my PC is more powerful than the S and the PlayStation Pro. But when I played Bound by Fire on the 360, I mean on the Xbox One, it played the absolute same. And I can change the frame rates on that game. I did that earlier this morning just to make this point, because it does, with the hardware that you have in your system, and the Xbox One X, it's going to be more powerful. It's going to make your games run better without you touching that shit. So if the devs come out and they say, this is good for, this is our vision, this is what we want to, this is why PC gaming gets the bad rep that they do, because there's so many people that mod their shit, they do shit to what the devs designs, and devs don't like their shit. They put their blood, sweat, and tears behind these games, and then to see some Yahoo come out that sit here, don't do shit, but just comes out here and makes the game to their liking, that pisses devs off. Yeah, that would piss me off. That would piss anybody off. When you put something out there and you want people to appreciate it, and then somebody comes out there and alters it, that's going to piss you off as well. That's why they don't give a fuck about the PC market as much as they do as the consoles. Now, anybody disagree with that? Let me hear it.
But I want to go into more details so if we can shut down the soundboard this time around. So, I think I was expecting at least somebody to be a little bit more on the side of the 60 frames per second. You guys are a little bit more, I would say, level-headed. So we'll still give this a shot. So let's say a fighting game, and K-Mega is familiar with fighting games, right? You hit a button and it activates an animation, right? In what way does a doubling the frame rate give you a sharper control after you hit that button? You can't cancel that move. You're just adding double the frame rate until that move is final. So can anybody explain to me how doubling the frame rate would actually make that game play better?
Would it get through the animation quicker?
Nope.
No, it would get through longer, wouldn't it?
Nope.
Because there's more frames.
Nope.
I don't know.
It's the same time frame.
Crazy.
You're just doubling more frames in that time frame, right?
That's a trick question. Little mother.
But that's what I'm trying to illustrate, right? Basically in that situation, doubling the frame rate, it just adds a visual difference, right? It's not affecting the gameplay in any sort of form or fashion, right? There are moments where doubling the frame rate can help. For example, say you moving a cursor around on a shooter, right?
God damn it, I'm sorry.
It's not the movement of your analog stick one direction where that additional frame rate is maybe helping. It's when you have to make a correction from one direction to the other. So
hey, hold on, Don. Let me say this. Okay, Fonzarelli, let me make this clear. This is not my show. This is Xbox show. But I will be glad to have a podcast with just me and you, or if Don wants to get into it and we can interject to have you to make your opinion. But I just know this is that we know that you love Forza Horizon, and that's 30 frames per second. And I know that you love the whole 60 frames per second aspect. We know that. I wasn't trying to call you out and make you look like you was foolish. I'm just saying the point is that if you like 60 frames per second so fucking much, you would not like Forza Horizon unless you only play it on your PC. And that's why I'm saying the whole aspect of this fucking frames per second is console bullshit. Look, I agree that I will agree with this point is that the PlayStation Pro gives games with options to where you can make games have 30 or 60 frames per second, and I think that the Xbox One X will have that same capability. But at the end of the day, it's up to the goddamn devs, not to us. It's not to Phil Spencer, and it's not for the Xbox One X. It's to the goddamn devs to make that decision. Now I'm done. Sorry, Don. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So, but what I'm trying to say in that particular case, when you activate an animation, that additional frame rate just makes the game smoother looking. It doesn't make it smoother playing. In a situation when you move a cursor for say one direction and then back in an opposing direction, where you're canceling out from one move to the other, like a cursor on a first-person shooter, that will get you a reaction time somewhere between 8 milliseconds to 16 milliseconds, depending on the engine.
Dong. We don't have the doorbell anymore, guys.
No.
What happened?
Ding dong.
Oh, we got
The witch is
We got a
dead.
guest in here.
We got Fonz in here?
Yeah.
Oh, good shit. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Everybody shout, let's go.
Hold on. As the
DRG
moderator,
in this
hold on.
motherfucker.
As the
We taking
moderator,
over.
as the
Let's go.
moderator, I would just like to welcome Fonz. Fonz, yo, welcome to the show,
up?
man.
What's up, Hans?
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Fonz.
Hey, I haven't said it's your boy in a long time, man.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
That's funny shit, man. All day and you playing as bot, all day playing as me. I'm telling you, I'll do a podcast. Y'all be winning.
Hey, bro, I got respect for Xbot. So, yeah.
I
Anyway,
appreciate
I
it,
got
man.
respect for everybody on this panel. I just want to say my piece because I think a lot of things that I have said have been taken out of context because I think a lot of you guys have said things that were just not right. I mean, I'm not pushing shit like that. For me, and I'm just speaking on my behalf, not for the average gamer, not for every gamer, but for me, I prefer 60 frames per second on my games. However, because it feels better to me. I know what I like. I see it visually. I feel it. It feels nice, but that's the bottom line. It's not about I have an edge over somebody else, or it's not really.
I don't think that's part of the conversation, to be honest.
Yeah. But for me, it feels good, and that's why I like it. But when some people have taken it too far, saying that like I'm pushing it on every game, hell no.
That's what you said.
No, it's not.
Let him illustrate his point, because I'd rather have him illustrate his point.
And that is not what I said, Mega. If you listen to me on the show, sometimes you'd understand that I did not push that narrative. What I said last night exactly was I understand some of these consoles, well, all of these consoles cannot do 60 frames per second on some of these big open world games. And I'm good with that because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still going to have a good experience. But I would love 60 frames on some of these linear games. Like, give me an option at least, give people choice. They've done it with a couple of games on the Pro. We've had like Tomb Raider. They have an option there. You have, unlocked frames. They've done it on Neo, I believe. So, I mean, that's what I want devs to do is give us more of an option. Just start including that in the games.
That's what I was going to say. Is that's up to the dev.
Yeah,
But let me make this point then. Okay, so you can't have your cake and eat it too. With the Xbox One Fat and the Xbox One S, we know that you can't achieve 1080p and 60 frames. Well, with the S, I don't know. You might can. I have no idea. But with the Xbox One Fat, you cannot, because that was the whole factual thing. Because when the games were hitting 60 frames per second, they were 720p, and everybody was bitching about that.
Well, the harsh reality in all four consoles, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all four consoles, but the whole thing
they can all, they can all hit 1080p. They can all hit 60 frames per second. That's possible on all of them. On any game, really, to be honest with you. The difference is what you're going to cut out to get there. In regards to that, and then what a lot of people don't understand is when developers, they'll do like playtest, right? They'll do like, basically they refer to sometimes as mannequins or marionettes. They'll have grayed out boxes, and they have an overall concept of what their game design is, how the play control is going to be, and they rough it in. It's like a sketch, right? They do all sorts of different play tests. They'll do you'll do a thing where they'll actually target the individual response time to every other frame, but display 60. They'll do another build that has 60 frames and your inputs actually tied to each one of the frame rates, right? And this is what they refer to as what they call the double blind test. It's a scientific method. They use it for testing a lot of things. And they'll test that. And the problem is a lot of people, the numbers are out there. People that work within these studios, they know what the percentage is. And these are people that play games all day for a freaking living. But it's about 80% don't notice it, these sort of changes. And sometimes the gameplay will warrant it. Sometimes it does, right? And when that number kind of slides in its favor, then what they'll do is they'll design their game around that target frame rate. So they decide on the frame rate first before they even start really making the game altogether. And so that's why I'm saying is, you look at Destiny, it doesn't really help it a lot. Does it make it look smoother? Sure, absolutely. Yeah. But the gameplay is still designed in structured around that 30. And so that's why I'm always from the perspective of, okay, they want to make their game shine and play the best as they possibly can. They made that decision early on. So putting 60 on that, for example, I'll use Destiny, right? Pushing 60, well, that's just more or less a visual gain for the consumer. It may not necessarily be a performance gain. And that's where a lot of this stuff is kind of missed out on.
Can I say something there? Yeah, and on some games it will be a performance advantage to be at 60, but in some I agree it's not. But for me, it feels better and looks better. So when I played PC games for a while, I remember what I used to do, and it's what every PC gamer does. If they tell you they don't, they're full of shit. They will take their graphics and they will lower them if they cannot achieve at least 60 frames. And that's what we used to do.
Why are you okay? Look,
but here's my reasoning for even saying and mentioning PC though, Mega, is because
these are PC topics.
I think with the hardware,
consoles is a fucking different animal, Fonz, than a fucking PC.
But I think with the console that we're getting with the Xbox One X, it is very, very, very capable of hitting 60 frames at 4K with some of the games.
Sure.
And I'm not expecting all of them. I'm not telling these devs making some of these huge games saying, hey, you better put a 60 frames option in there and let me play at 480p. No, I'm not delusional. I know when a game is going to be capable. I can look at a big open world game and say, you know what, that's not going to run at 60. Like Anthem, I knew that, and I'm good with that. But, you know, if the game can run it and we got good hardware, why not?
Well, so this is where I get into this. Like, I want the developers just to have the freedom. Like, the whole point of a box is to give them the tools to make what they can, right? Giving them more power. Now, Microsoft, we knew what their target goal was. Their personal games, 4K 60, nothing's lesser than what you had on the previous console. Everything is better. That's what they mean by like no compromises, right? Everything's going to be the same but better in regards to that. And I think they're going to deliver on that, and it's not going to be a problem. Some developers may want to do 60 because they feel like that helps the visuals of a game. Some may lock it to that. Some games are not even, the input's not even tied to the frame rate, right? So, you know, that doesn't really affect the overall.
Yeah. And I get that. You're saying it just doesn't affect the gameplay itself. It's just visually more pleasing to some people, right?
Exactly. So, and I use the Forza Horizon example for you. The input's actually based upon the physics engine, which runs. Last time I checked, and it could have gone up since the last time I checked, but it was over 120 cycles per second. Right, so that's over twice 60 frames per second, right?
Yep.
The reason why Horizon plays so good, even though it's an arcade racer, right, is because it's based on that physics engine running at such a high refresh rate. So they can lower it to 30, they can bump up to 60. It does not affect the gameplay in one form or fashion, but it does affect it in the case like it's because of the Play Anywhere titles. People can play this on PC, right? If people don't have their settings right and they try to bump it up to 60, sometimes it brings some of that code to a halt. And it's not just from a visual standpoint, some of that physics engine that's happening behind the scene, which affects your gameplay, and it screws up the game. It actually screws it up.
My whole thing with this thing started not with FPS. It started with the 4K push. That's what I started going after. And I did this with the Pro. This started with me a long time ago because
I started in the beginning of this generation.
No. But it started with me with the Pro, with the 4K push. It made no sense. Consoles right now should not be making that push to 4K. It makes absolutely zero sense when 18% of the marketplace is what we have here in America with people with 4K TVs right now. Only 18%.
Yeah, see,
it's going to be 39%.
That's why I said that the Xbox X is future proof.
Yeah, but
because it's ready for that.
But here's the thing: within 3 years, we're going to get next gen consoles.
Maybe from the PlayStation, but maybe not so much from the Xbox.
I think we will. I think the Xbox will answer right back.
See, Fonz, right there, you're like, I think we will, and stuff like that. You got to remember these companies, these corporations. especially Sony also being in the TV space, they have projections and stuff like that. They would know that, there's been a lot of times where consoles has been behind the curve. And with this generation and these mid-gen refreshes that they came up with, these companies, these corporations decided that they were going to be ahead of the curve this time because this is where it's going.
No, I hear that. I hear that, but at the same time, this is a mid-gen console. They are saying that is a mid-gen console. So I'm just putting this out there.
Okay, but let me just put this out here too as well. This system is not even out yet, though, and we're already judging it off of games that's not even out yet as well, which makes this
Digital Foundry
asinine. Like there's still months and maybe even a couple of years in development for games, and we don't even know if these developers are going to give the options for us to have a 30 to a 60 games per second option.
No, and that was my whole.
But look, the Xbox One X is much more capable. Look, if I can push 60 frames plus on my PC, I know that the X can do a hell of a lot more.
As I said last night, and I said today on this podcast, yes, it is very capable of 60 frames, and that is my point. My point is on games where it's capable, give us an option, and I know it's up to the devs, but at the end of the day, that's why I want to nudge the devs in that direction instead of the whole 4K push. Like, you can take a game at 1440p and have all those bells and whistles turned on, ultra settings, and it would look gorgeous. And if you gave us 60 frames on top of that, icing on the cake. And that is what I'm getting at.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. If I could just talk to Fonz real quick. Again, Fonz, thank you for accepting the invite and coming on. When it comes to this, I feel like this generation is a very dangerous generation when it comes to consoles, because the more and more we're talking about resolution and frames per second, we have gone astray from talking about games, right? And it's becoming more and more, hey, look at the PC side. I love being in the console community. I love the ease of use. I love the community over here. Granted, I haven't been in the PC side of it, but we are walking a very dangerous tightrope here of making the console space the PC space as well, and with that possibly bringing over the negative aspects of the PC area, while we already have negative aspects ourselves.
That's a great point, Xbot. That is a great point. And like I said, it all started with resolution at the beginning of like Mega said, at the beginning with the PS4 and the Xbox. It all started then, but then when the mid-gen PS4 Pro came out and they were pushing that 4K and they showed me 4 teraflops, I was looking at that side-eyed going, okay, that thing's not really going to be pushing much 4K at all. And when it came out, sure enough, it wasn't, but they were pushing it to that point. Developers are still pushing resolution on that system when that console can't really achieve native 4K on.
I'll be honest with you. That's not developers pushing that on that hardware. It is coming up, and it's not so much mandating, but it's heavily encouraged. That's the direction that they should go. On that particular
kind of like Comey and Trump,
and that's.
I hope.
But Don, the same thing could be said of Microsoft. Then they are sort of nudging the devs in that direction as well.
No, they're taking that direction with their own personal titles. They are allowing the devs to do whatever they want.
You're saying Sony is mandating it where.
No,
Sony did mandate that. Sony made this.
No, don't twist, because someone's going to take my words. Twist
yeah.
it, right?
Okay,
so what I'm saying is they're not.
Take K Mega's word for it. Look,
but they're not. Wait.
Well, I'm not going to twist it. Let K Mega talk. God damn it!
But you've talked enough.
I'm not goddamn done. Listen, Sony made this fucking monster. Sony came out. Nobody in the goddamn streets that I was playing games with came to me and said, "Hey man, K Mega, that motherfucking shit on the 360, them resolutions ain't hot." Nobody. When I put on my motherfucking PlayStation 3, nobody was talking about if that game would have proper frame rates or not. Sony made this goddamn monster. And for them to come out and lie, and then
Mega, see, that's some fanboy talk right there, because
that's not fanboy talk, bro.
Listen, I could say the same thing and say, Xbox messed up by making an underpowered console. Okay, I could say
hold on, Fonz. Mega.
Wait. The reason why I don't say that stuff is because I'm not a fanboy. I could give two shits.
Yo, hold on. There's something. Hold on.
You got to accept facts. You have to accept facts. Who brought out this narrative about 1080p? Was it Xbox or was it motherfucking Sony? Break that shit down. Tell me the goddamn truth, Fonz. Who was the one?
K-Mega's going sideways, man. He's going sideways.
Who was the one?
But you know why it was brought out? Because they saw the competition. So they brought that shit out because at the end of the day, they're marketing their systems to sell. And of course, if it's more powerful, like the Xbox One X did, they're going to wear monster shirts, hold chips in their mouth, and sell consoles.
Yeah, because Sony brought this fucking monster out, and and you know what? An Xbox is just only responsible.
That is marketing. Every company will do it.
No, but
Every company out there will lie to you. All these companies lie to us. We have to discern between the bullshit and the facts.
You trust Phil Spencer, or you trust Yoshida? Which one? Who you trust more, Yoshida or Phil Spencer?
I don't trust any of them. I like Phil Spencer though. I like Phil Spencer.
But who do you trust more, Phil Spencer or fucking Yoshida when it comes to a goddamn non-gamer to a person that actually plays games?
Phil Spencer, because he's playing games and he's talking to people, but that doesn't mean he don't lie to us.
I didn't say that he didn't lie to us, but I'm saying who would you trust more? So if
Spencer, I said it, yeah.
Okay, so the narrative that comes out is that look, it was 1080p or death just 2 years ago. 1080p or death. Then when games start coming out to be 900p, nobody didn't say a goddamn thing. The media or nobody. This isn't fanboy talk. This is realistic shit. Look, Sony came out and used the fanboy rhetoric to make this goddamn monster. Now all of a sudden the frame rate monster has come out after resolution has been conquered by Xbox, and this shit right here is the problem that I have.
Yo, Mega, check this out. Yo, I agree.
It's goddamn frustrating. It's goddamn frustrating.
No, I got you, man. And I agree when it comes to the marketing, the native resolution thing, was put into Sony's hands. But hey, let's be honest here. Like, Sony did start that, but afterwards, we as a community and as consumers have fed into it all the way through.
I defended Sony when they did market it like that, just as I defended the Xbox One X when they marketed it like that.
Yeah, well,
when
Sony got the ball rolling.
I was on Twitter telling these Sony fanboys, hey, what's wrong with what they're doing? They're enthusiastic for their product. They're selling their product. I don't give two shits about that. That doesn't bother me at all. You guys are so bothered by that.
No, you know why? You know why I'm bothered by that? Because Quantum Goddamn Break got shitted on because they used that checkerboarding bullshit, which nobody fucking knew what a checkerboarding for. Well, console gamers didn't know what the fuck a checkerboarding or whatever the fuck it was because it was 720p. But then, but hold on. But then that goddamn other game. The order was the same type of game, and it got praised. That's where I got a goddamn problem because people are so goddamn. They don't put the true narrative out.
But fanboys point fingers at the wrong direction. That's journalism. Journalism is dead in this gaming industry. It's horrible.
It is. It's done. It's done. But we need to talk about the devs.
Who's pushing that stuff?
Right, but we need to talk about they are, but then Sony was also pushing this narrative as well. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you with what you want because everybody needs more options is better for all gamers.
Mega, totally agree with that. Foundry came out with 2 videos today of Forza, and I was blown away by the graphics going, God damn, I can't wait to play that game. That looks amazing, right? And then in the second video, they're making snide remarks against the Xbox. It's like, what the...
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Look, the conference. Look, Fonz, I respect your thoughts on shit. You know that. You respect me. We got much love. I'm not mad at you about your thought process on this. It's just that that you push that you're making this so adamant is It's the problem that I have is in others, even people that's among the Xbox crowd that's making frames per second all of a sudden this fucking big thing when we have been playing at 30 frames per second for so long. And you blaming the Xbox One X when it is totally capable of doing 4K 60. This goddamn thing is a beast.
I'm blaming the devs.
That's right. It's the devs and it's the publishers. It's the and then it's also, you know what? And if you want to say that I'm a fanboy on this one, but it's also Sony because they are the ones that push this narrative and they got to stand by this. Look at Destiny and why Destiny will not be. Look at this parody shit. This is what this whole frames per second shit is really all about for the console players. Fucking Destiny is going to be unlimited on the PC and it's going to be 30 frames per second on the motherfucking place on the Xbox One X. And now I'm hearing that it's going to be 4K, just 30.
I don't believe it's going to be 4K on the PlayStation Pro.
You know what? That's what the stance is. You know what? I can't put anything past Sony right now, and that's why I'm saying that's where the direction needs to be.
Can we
put
get back to the subject?
I'm going to mute my goddamn mic.
Well,
the passion and the goddamn Jack Daniels is
check this out. Hold on, Don. I love this conversation, and this is a really good thing to talk about and stuff like that. We really got to start winding it down. We're going to almost 3 hours here. Maybe we can set up having a show like with Don, Fonz, Mega.
Just let me finish with this.
All
right?
I was going to say,
part of everything that we've dealt with this whole entire generation is because people kept dictating to the developers what they wanted, right? Mm-hmm. And what happened was they were pigeonholed into a corner. Right? There's not a single game that developers didn't try their hardest. They worked on the hardware they have. They worked with the kits they have. They've done all that stuff for us. Even when we complained, right? They still did it for us. And at the end of the day, when you demand 60 frames per second or death, or 4K, 4K resolution or death, you are basically painting the developers into a corner where they have lost their creative freedom to make the best possible game they have. They have a huge toolbox to work with. 60 frames per second is just one of many tools they have to work with. Just let them make their game, and if the game is bad in any sort of way, then that's when you call them out on it. But just let them do their job. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah, I
agree
with that, Don. I could definitely agree.
I guess that's where I'm kind of coming from, because I know they've done tests. I know they've done things behind the scenes. They make these conscious decisions before they even start developing the game. They build their games around certain things versus others, right? So a lot of this is more on the visual side of things, and that's extremely subjective, right? Because I can tell you what ambient occlusion is, but no one else knows what that is. Some people would say, well, I prefer 60 over this or that. Just let them do. They do a lot of builds. They do test a lot of stuff. They do get a lot of opinions from actual gamers from their play test. And some of their play tests are just on the visual side of things. And they also pass it around to other studios. So keep in mind, if you give them freedom, you get better games.
Nice. And like I said,
but at the same time, I don't think that we should stop being vocal to devs, because they do sometimes rush out games and they're broken or unfinished.
Well, yeah, the game's broken, and you should say something. You should be respectful, but also be very clear where your stance is.
That's why I say to people all the time, don't pre-order games, especially new IPs and stuff. I would wait and see what the reviews are, what people are saying on the street about the game before you pick it up, because there's been a lot of games people have pre-ordered and they're just dog shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is what you're doing, though, Fonzarelli. You're not even. The system is not even out. These games are not even out, and you're already dictating what's going on, just like other people. And that's where I got the problem.
No. Mega. See, that's why I wanted to come on, because I think you totally got it twisted with me. For me, I don't like the 4K narrative. Okay, that's my biggest stance. I said it could be better pushed towards frame rates. That's how this all started. Okay, but I personally, I don't have an issue with these consoles. I know what they're capable of and not capable of. The Xbox One X looks very capable, and I cannot wait to play it, even if it's a 30 frames per second game. I mean, for me, I would love 60, but if it's not there, it doesn't break it for me. It's not the end of the world for me.
Yeah, and there's other things like frame rate interpolation, which is actually gives it the look of 60, but it doesn't really affect the overall gameplay. There are other tools that are coming down the pipeline, but if we dictate one, we're going to miss out on those tools, and sometimes we may not get as good of a game as we normally would. That's kind of like where I'm trying to drive home
Mm-hmm.
is, there are more tools this mid gen than there was at the beginning of this gen
Mm-hmm.
that these developers have, and this shit's going to shine if you just, that's why I was always excited with the mid gen consoles, because if you look at the earlier gen consoles, it's no longer about the resolution of those boxes, because they got a better box for better resolution for those better things they want to argue about, right? And they can just kind of allow those consoles to be balanced in the games on that system how it should be, on that particular spec and that particular hardware. So
Nice. And guys, like I said, the conversation is really, it's really lit. It's good to have,
Yeah.
all the different sides come together. It's good to have these discussions. It's good to have these discussions live, so this way it gets, the other gamers out there who are watching, it gets them to think in possibly different ways. And I would definitely love to possibly do, another show or something like that to really go in depth with, Mega, Fonz, the Don, because I think we got
Yeah.
a lot to say when it comes to
No,
stuff like this, man.
honestly, for me, I just wanted to get my point out there that I'm
Yeah.
not expecting like every game, so I'm pretty much done with that situation. I don't expect every game to have 60 frames. Just, what?
I got you. And see, the thing is,
that's all I want. More options, if the game can handle it, throw in the option. I've
And
seen it on many games,
and like I said,
agree with that.
I feel
I agree
that,
with that.
with all these options that people are starting to ask for, just kind of like the way Don said, when the PC, when
But give it
the
time.
PC version of the game comes out, they're like, oh, here are all these sliders, you figure it out. I don't want that coming here. Okay, I don't want that coming to
I
console.
would love it.
And not for anything. I can agree with the whole native resolution bullshit, because I already know how high on the ladder that is for developers making a game. It is the lowest rung. All right, but it has become the highest rung. I got an Xbox One beginning of this generation, and it had 1080p native games, but it also had games that were native 900 or whatnot, and upscaled. I had no problem with that. So therefore, with that being said, I don't have a problem with the PlayStation Pro upscaling to 4K either.
I think Monolith has the best approach on all this. They're
Bless
doing
you.
the best they can
Thank you.
on the X. They haven't said what they're going to do on the Pro, but they're putting their best foot forward. They're
Mhm.
using what that machine is capable of,
Mhm.
right? And that's what it should be. And so they're looking at the hardware, and they're taking a console development approach to each one of those pieces of hardware, instead of having a PC approach where they said, our engine scales, you figure it out.
Right.
And that's what you should have. They're trying to earn your dollar no matter what platform is your choice. That's what should be done.
Yeah.
I think when everyone has really a problem is when, and I think all gamers can speak to this, is right when you buy a piece of hardware, we want developers to use what that hardware does best. It doesn't matter if you bought a PlayStation original or an Xbox original, right? Xbox original, everyone, Xbox One original, everyone wanted to use the rumble triggers. On the standard PlayStation, it did have a little bit more horsepower, so they wanted the higher native resolution, right? They wanted to see those numbers. They wanted to see that the developer was taking the care to use that system to the best of their ability in regards to that. At the root of all this conversation that we've had for the last 3 or 4 years. And now that we have more powerful hardware, which I don't think we have I don't think we're going to have generations anymore. It is iterative hardware.
Yeah.
Because the Xbox One X it's kind of weird, because like the Pro is definitely more powerful than what we would call a mid-gen, but the X is literally the equivalent power of a next-gen console. But we're at this point where games can scale between these pieces of hardware. I honestly think we're going to be able to go a third generation and still be able to scale back to
nice.
the original hardware. Like that's where we're at in development. So you guys know and understand, right? They'll just be able to scale it and you'll be able to play the game. And the thing is, at the base level hardware everyone has today, and they don't buy any of these new consoles coming out around the corner or the consoles coming out in the next 3 years, their games are still going to get better on that base level hardware because everything complements each other.
Mhm.
What they learn on one efficiency helps the more powerful console. What they learn on using a more powerful console, they start at a higher end. And so sometimes they realize what they can actually push on the lower end was beyond their expectations. This all helps. Every gamer wins in these sort of situations. Where we don't win is where we bicker and we fight, and when we fight over the silliest little things. I think when we need to stand together is it's more of when these teams are not putting their best foot forward, but it's not just one thing that dictates that.
Well said, Don. Well said.
I think that's where we really are at, because I think some of this stuff is just not worth fighting about. I think we're missing out if we're not teaming together, and we're also missing out if we're dictating to devs. We need to talk. We need to have a communication. We need to have an open line of communication with them, because that's the reason why every time when a dev reaches out and then all of a sudden, everyone dogpiles, guess what? They get back into their turtle shell and they're out.
Right.
They won't talk to you guys anymore.
Right.
And it's because of those sort of reactions. So don't be reactionary. Listen, try to hear what they're trying to say. Most devs are not there to lie to you. Yes, they are trying to sell their game. They did design around a certain parameter, but try to at least understand where they're at. Even if you're not going to agree with them, at least try to understand. I guess that's why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That is awesome. And you know what? Before, I guess, because we're about to wrap this up.
Yeah.
The biggest question of the night, other than this frames per second bullshit, is who has the sexiest voice. Is Don or Fonz? I mean, not Don. Oh my God, Don.
Wow.
Don
Is there a secret I need to know about there, K-Mega?
It should have became Mega. But is it Fonzarelli or is it the Silk Man himself, Fusky? That is the goddamn question. Let's hear it.
Stop.
Yo, I just got back. I had to step away from my mic, but it sounds like something interesting about to go on. What's up?
I give it to Foos. I give it to Foos right now, man.
This question.
Hey, it's some gay ass shit, bro.
I don't want to. I ain't in it. I ain't in that shit.
Both of you just everybody stop for a moment. Say how now, brown cow. Go Fooskies.
How now, brown cow.
Very nice. Okay. Now, Fonzarelli.
Why?
Fonz wins.
He's gonna win. Listen to that shit. Yeah, it sounds like fucking.
Come on,
the golden voice shining through.
In all seriousness, Fonz, I want you the list that they read off in the beginning of the Xbox conference where they went through the specs and like didn't need to do that portion on the conference.
Yeah.
I want you to read it in your most epic movie voice possible, and just make that a video.
Guys, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Mega.
Wait, hold on now.
It's all good. Yo, Fonz, maybe
somebody said this in the chat. I thought it was funny. Anyway.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I was gonna bring it up in there. I forgot because I have short-term memory.
Yo, Fonz, maybe hopefully the next time you come on, if you do want to come on again, we could get into that. But dude,
I don't get into that, bro. Like I said my piece on the situation. It's not that serious.
I was talking about the voice thing, man. That's what I was talking about. But anyway,
we all sound beautiful, bro. We all sound beautiful.
Nice, man. Dude, it's been an absolute blast having you on here, man. If you follow Next Podcast, and pretty much every other podcast, we do our plugs, get everything in, where people can find us and stuff like that. So why don't you lead the way, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at jfonzarelli or right here on YouTube at Everything According to Me. And I do YouTube videos and stuff. I do a lot of podcasts out there, so you guys can find me.
Nice, man. And like I said, hopefully you will come on again. I would love to have you as a special guest for a whole show. You know what I'm saying? Not just a live reaction or half of a show, but a whole show. Let's go next on the list. Yo, Foos, man. We got to put the voices together. So Foos goes next, dude.
Lord.
Where can people find you? How can people get a hold of you? Man, you know the deal.
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter at Fooskies1, and you'll probably find me easier on Xbox at Fooskies. Uh, yeah, I'm working a lot now, so unfortunately I'm not on there so much, but I'm always down to talk if you can catch me.
Nice, dude. Yo, what
Sorry,
is?
I'm looking at the picture Don sent in the group chat.
Oh no, I didn't see that yet. Oh
Uh-oh.
my, Don, what are you doing, man?
Dude, it's amazing.
Well,
Yoshida.
since she's cracking up, I would love to hear her do her plugs and everything while she's laughing. So let's hit Oh Snaps next. What do you got for us?
What's up, you guys? I'm so happy to be here. So we're gonna be doing some community combat.
Look at the
Injustice
picture.
2, and we're running late, so I have a delay message on there of 15 minutes, but the room is already up. It's community combat with K's. You guys can find me on Twitter at Girls Can Game 22. Let's see what else. On Xbox, Oh Snap Suckers, and then a lot of things, but yeah, definitely check out Twitter if you want to connect with me on anything. Oh Snap Suckers on PlayStation as well. And yeah, I'm almost at 400 subs, so yeah, let's get it up there, guys.
Let's go.
And check out my channel for some interesting videos, some sucky videos. You know, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I love
vote
you
for
guys.
hair.
You're all amazing. Oh yeah, go vote for my hair color. Actually, Mooch just tweeted that he's loving the new hair color, which is purple, I think, not the black. So he said it's a keeper. So I guess we're going back to the purple. Don't know yet. Anyways, guys, you are able to vote for the hair color that you like to see me in, and then I will definitely change it up probably once a month.
Can I vote for multiple hair colors?
I can't do multiple
I
hair
asked for
colors.
plaid.
I'm not a magician. Jesus.
No, I want a 50-50.
Like Harley
Like
Quinn.
a split,
I
it's
have-
split down the center.
Like 70-30 right now. It's like 70% black, 30% purple. But oh yeah, thank you, Dirty J. Also, the Coffee Casual and Console podcast on my channel every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Now I lied, 10:30.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah, we didn't do it this past week because I was in Vermont, which was amazing. Anyways, I gotta go.
Nice. Yo, Don, man, what do you got for us? Where can people get a hold of you, dude?
Yeah, I got that Twitter handle that's the bottom of this video. My Twitter handle hasn't changed, so it should be current. And I have, if you go to my Twitter, you have multiple links to other things I'm involved with, Xbox Live, my portfolio, and also my Mixer channel. So
Nice. Yo, Mega, man, you are on a roll tonight, dude. Why don't you let everybody know? Yo, open up that Dead Sea Scroll and let everybody know where you are, what you're up to, and how they could get a hold of you, man.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, I forgot that people forgot their motherfucking side jobs, which was Fonzarelli supposed to be repping GRG up in this bitch.
Oh!
We got it lit. Don on the side, GRG.
hey, listen here, we haven't done the game and the dev forever, so I don't know if are we doing that still?
Yeah, we are still doing it, man. Look, man, hold on. Look, I told you that I had to go to bed early. I had to get to work at 5
You're out there
a.m.
chasing squirrels instead of
Hey, I had to cut
podcasts or
down
playing
fucking
games. What are you doing?
trees. I had to cut trees down, man. I don't want no goddamn squirrels to be crawling up in the house. Anyway, we have definitely the next podcast. Much love to the fam. Got BGST, you know what I'm saying? The family out there. Multiplayer, whenever I could get ever to come on, you know what I'm saying? Hey, K Mega is the passionate guy. You're absolutely right, Dirty J. I am all passion. I am all raw gaming passion. You know what I'm saying? I have no hate for anyone. If I get loud, if I get arrogant, that's because I have passion and I want to debate. That's exactly what this is, because after the show, everyone is going to be just have love and respect for one another, because that's what gamers supposed to do, not have hate for one another. Mm-hmm. And also, definitely last but not least is the GRG podcast. I'm so glad that, you know what I'm saying, the family is meshing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a product of what Xbot 448 has done with me for this podcast, for next, and doing this for, you know what I'm saying, for doing GRG, and then having like Fonzarelli here, and then Don, who is a product of the next podcast, and then doing what he's doing there and here, and what we do for Dev and the Gamer, man. It is just fucking awesome. And this is what my vision was. I wanted everybody to connect and do our thing. And then big shout out to Intro Media Gaming, because when I first came back to YouTube after that layoff, 100 in that crew took me in, and I can't be more happy enough, man. It's all gamers. Whatever that you prefer, but this is what this is, man. So
Hey, Mega,
keep it gamer. What
Mega,
up?
Nice.
what award did you just win?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you, Fonz. I'm like, hey, I'm just being real, man.
I want to say one more thing. I want to say one more thing. GRG Friday nights at 9 p.m. Be there.
Oh,
That's what I want to hear. Hey, say it again, goddamn Fonz. Say it again. Say it again.
9 p.m. Friday nights. Be there.
Be there right after Crossfire. We will be doing it live. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, man,
Nice.
that's all good.
nice. And you guys know you're on my channel. It's Xbot448. This is the next podcast. It is a podcasting family of many that I belong to. Of course, GRG, BGST, Coffee Casuals and Consoles, Crossfire. I spread myself way too thin sometimes.
You got to scroll too. Look at that.
Yeah. But as usual, guys, this show is the community show. If it wasn't for the community, for everybody who comes in and checks us out live, and for the people who come and check out the show afterwards, it's you guys. You guys give us the strength, the motivation to do more, to reach further, and to make the show as informative, as entertaining as possible. And I just got to thank the community, the gamers out there, and all the supporters for everybody on this panel. You guys mean the world to us. But it is Saturday night, and I know you're gamers. You want to get the controllers in your hands. I know I do too. It is community combat night. Injustice 2. Everybody on the panel is invited. Everybody in the chat's invited. Let's go in and kick some ass. My Atrocitus is waiting. Guys,
I need your help too.
Yo, my Atrocitus is no joke, by the way. But anyway,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, man. I forgot Foos was here. Damn it.
Oh, I'm in the room already.
Oh, damn it. All right. But guys, like I always say at the end of every show, we'll check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, guys.
Yes, sub everybody on this.
One last
channel.
question: do you prefer
Later.
streaming at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second?
Oh my god.
Oh, there we go. There we
Because
go.
I would say 30 frames per second is less K Mega.
You guys are getting cut off for the outro right now.
You can
Right now.
never cut off K Mega. K Mega is the man.
The extra
Let's go.
30 frames.
Hey.